two. Welcome back to day 2 of the AI Advantage Summit. Who is excited for day 2? Me too. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to thank you for playing so full out yesterday. Every day our team obsesses on reading all of your chats, getting to know you better, and we love that you are sharing breakthroughs, encouraging one another, and showing up ready to apply what you're learning. It really is such a beautiful thing to see people from over 170 countries coming together and supporting each other. Give it up for yourselves. It really is beautiful. And it reminds me of walking into the gym. Now go with me here, okay? Some people are lifting heavy, some are stretching, some are just figuring out how the machines work. But the point is they all showed up and they're doing it together, and that's exactly what's happening here. Each of you are at a different stage on this journey, but guess what? You're doing it. High five, virtual high five. You are exploring territory that's new, not only to you, but to the entire world. So whatever it takes today, resist the urge to say, it's too complicated, or I'm behind, or I already know this. And remember what Tony said yesterday. A year ago would have been too soon, and a year from now is too late. This is the golden moment. The time is now. So if you know this is your time, put "it's my time" in the chat. I want to see you blow up that chat. Yes, your energy is on fire. Thank you for that. Now let's talk about yesterday. Was it amazing or what? I mean, and that was just day 1. That chat, oh, the chat is blowing up, you guys. Wow, my time, it's my time, it's my time. Yes, it is. Yesterday, Dean showed us what was possible, and he shared the 4 A's: activate, accelerate, augment, and then you automate. Zach Cass had us look through the lens of optimism, that today is the best time to be alive, that optimism is not naive, and that we can be sources of hope for those around us. And then Igor, how incredible is Igor? Yeah. He helped you assess where you are in the 3 levels of AI fluency. He told us to stop chasing tools, and he gave us the context sandwich concept that I loved so much to get better results from any AI project. Here's who I am. Here's what I need. Here's what good looks like. And then Molly, oh my goodness, was she amazing or what? I saw so many of you have incredible breakthroughs during her vivid visual session, and I just love how she took those complex ideas and made them super simple to apply right away to create your own graphic, animation, or even your very own anthem. I loved that. Then we got to close out the day with Mr. Tony Robbins, who anchored in. He anchored in the entire day and reminded you the importance of pattern recognition, progression, mindset, and momentum. But guess what, my friends? Today's gonna be even better. That's right. The lineup of speakers you have today is incredible. So let's keep this momentum alive, make this real, and get AI working for you. You're gonna be learning from Dean in just a minute, and before he comes out, a few quick reminders, okay? So get your pen and paper out. Number 1, be present. Close all your open tabs, silence the notifications, make today count. Yes? If you're with me, write yes in the chat. Yes. 2, take notes and use the chat. That's where connection happens, where breakthroughs are shared. We saw it so beautifully yesterday, and we're gonna keep doing it today. And finally, remember, you're live. The speakers can see you and interact with you, and trust me, we feel your energy through those screens. So keep your cameras on and your energy up, right, Pat, room 1? Pat Mortensen. Let's see, I see you, Arthur, in room 2. Hello, Andreas, room 4. Remember, Tony said energy is the #1 determining factor if you're going to succeed or fail in life. So what do you say we start day 2 off with a little more energy? Let's crank the music, my team, and let's have some fun. Here we go. I want to see you out of your seats. Let's go. Micho, room 2. Yes, Kayla. Yes, Christina. Hi, Maria. That's right. Beautiful. Andrea. and help me welcome back to the stage our guide, Dean Graziosi.
We don't go home tonight. Say it out loud. We own this crowd.
Come to me.
Tonight, keep that fire alive. Side to side, we ride this high. Beat flips slick.
What's going on, guys?
Every step feel like every laugh real rare back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to day 2. I got to tell you, what an amazing day yesterday. You know, I've been doing this for 30 years, truly. Tony, 47, 48. It's been, but there's sometimes when just something comes together. You know, yesterday I shared, this is live. Like, no matter how many years I've been doing this, I still have butterflies. I like, literally before you walk out here, I'm ready to throw up and I'm more excited than I can imagine. Both come together. But yesterday was just magical, you know, and I want to say thank you for trusting us on the journey to overcoming old patterns, to building a foundation so we can roll into today with more confidence. Who feels a little more confident today, a little more open, a little more seeing possibility to allow this to go faster, quicker in your life? And that was our whole goal. So thanks for trusting us, and trust us once again today. The lineup we have today is absolutely perfect in this progression, right? Listen, the breakthroughs, the comments, the emotions. I was up way too late last night reading your stories inside the community. Thank you for playing full out. I know Renee said it, but you guys, you empowered other people. You shared your emotions. You showed belief. And what's amazing about it is what we're hoping is that we just didn't give you confusing tactics and tools out of the gate, but create an event that deals with the human side so you could see how it fits into your world. How you can create truly a new identity around this and use this as a part of who you are. A way to amplify your life, your ideas, and the things that bring success and joy into everything you do. Now, you know what else is cool? We heard the exact same thing last year when we did this event. But I have to be honest with you, and that event was amazing, but this time it got deeper, and this time was even better because many of you came in having tried things and you were starting to get momentum, but then you started falling behind again with all the confusing stuff. And I think yesterday, a lot of people finally exhaled. And I hope you see that you can do this. That's our whole goal. And that combination, I know Renee went over it, so I won't, but that combination of Zach, Igor, Molly, and Tony, man, was that just, it just lit it up. And like I said, I stayed up way too late last night reading so many of your posts. Some of them made me laugh. Some of them put tears in my eyes, but really just seeing that it landed after all the work we put together. So I want to read a few. I want to highlight some people. I'll take 2 minutes here because you took the time to do it. So Andreas, speechless. I'm reading fine print here, so if you see me squint, right? I started using what I learned immediately after the workshop and was amazed on what was produced. It kept me awake most of the night as I could not stop envisioning what I can do in my business and every other place in my life. Amazing. Thank you, Andreas, for that comment. Julie, well worth waking up at 3 a.m. So thank you for getting up early and being with us. She said, what a hoot. I was very skeptical, so I'm glad I did not miss out on this. So thankful that they started with their heart and mind level. I must admit, I had quite a wall up regarding AI. Anybody else have a little bit of a wall up before you were here? Right? I see you, Maria Lorenzo. I'm glad you and so many people shaking your head, we broke through that. I had a few large hurdles in life and business, and now I could see my way through it. Evie said, what clicked for me today was something Igor said about not chasing every new tool. I almost cried when I heard that. I felt like permission to breathe again, right? This is the collective, right, that you get from each speaker. Let me see one more. Let me read a couple more. I'm horrible with names, but you see it up there. Massive action momentum. Don't wait for everything to be right. I'm the painter. AI can either be just the paintbrush, levels, or the painter's assistant. How freaking cool is that? Jürgen, one last one I want to read. Jürgen said, I tried your infographic. That's about Molly. Everybody loved Molly. She was freaking breakout star yesterday. It was awesome. I tried out your infographic video that you showed how to make. Was pretty cool to see my lifelong work sketched out in one graphic. Merci beaucoup. Awesome, awesome. Let's give it up for everybody who posted inside the chat, inside the community. There was so many more. I won't keep reading them, but yeah, it was amazing. Thank you. You know, stories like these are truly the main reason Tony and I are still so excited to do what we do for a living. I mean, to help people go faster with things we discover, how freaking cool is that? And again, there were so many cool breakthroughs yesterday, but the fact of the matter is we're just getting started. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're going deeper, but hopefully we built the momentum, the confidence, the fluency so you can handle it today and see yourself in it. So who's ready by a show of hands or say yes in the chat to go deeper today? More tactics, more strategies, things you can put in place. Who's ready to have AI working alongside of you, but also for you? Who'd like to wake up and have AI do a couple of the things that you don't like doing, right? Hey, Sonia, I see you. Right? You're like, absolutely start today, right? Well, that's what we're going today and tomorrow. And listen, like I said, whether you're brand new, you're dabbling, you're using it every day, and you know there's another level, and thank you for all the beautiful chats. I'm trying to handle all this at once. It's so freaking awesome. Here's the thing, no matter where you are in your journey, you came here to transform your business, your career, your future, your life. So that's why this is exactly where you belong here on a Friday afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So let's make today the day the light bulb goes off even bigger and AI confidence becomes your new norm. People aren't going to recognize you after this weekend, I promise you. Yesterday, like I said, the guests were amazing, but I got to say the same thing. Today, I am so stoked because each day builds upon the rest. I asked you guys to trust us, and you did, and thank you for that. First up today, we have the AI surfer. I became friends with this guy when we were doing all of our interviews. He ran an experiment with AI that's going to change the way you think about it forever. He trained his AI to become his actual business partner. And the results are staggering. I can't wait for you to learn from him. Then we have Lior Weinstein. This is a guy that's not only become a friend, he's someone I've learned so much from on AI in my personal journey. Lior takes what seems complicated to others and shares how quick and easy it can be in your real life, from family, and even more important is to launching and running his businesses in this new era. You can't miss a second of this. And then we also have Dr. Arthur Brooks here. He's in the room already. All the speakers are here. I love this guy. If you don't know him, he's a Harvard professor and best-selling author who blew everyone away last year. I mean, he was literally the most talked about speaker. He goes even deeper on why the thing you're learning, why the thing you're building will actually make you and is the key to living a happier life. How do you use this science to become happier and more human? And he's got science to back it up. And then we're going to close out with something really unique today. You're not going to want to miss a second. I'm going to bring all the speakers and we're going to do a panel and do hot seats to answer your questions live. We usually do that in our longer events. John, I see you shaking your head. That's usually our 8-hour events. So today, I got to be honest, we might go a half hour long. Do I have permission to go a half hour long if we could do hot seats at the end? And we will answer as many questions as you can live with our whole panel. I'm so stoked. This is going to be one heck of a day. Now, before we get into the first expert, I want to take a few minutes and just make sure you have everything you need to succeed at the highest level. Listen, I know this to be true. If you stay with us, AI is going to change your life. I have zero doubts, but only if this next part is dialed in. You know, I've been building businesses for 40 years. As a broke kid, started selling firewood. I've been helping others for 30 years. And I've found one thing that separates the people who actually live into their dreams, into their goals, and the ones that just attend events like this and feel inspired and motivated, but don't get the results they want. And it has nothing to do with tech. It's the ability to set a goal that actually becomes real. Not a New Year's resolution that fades by January 18th. Not a wish, a goal that sticks. It's the secret to confidently evolve through the 3 levels Igor shared yesterday. And quite frankly, in all areas of your life that you want more success. And listen, doing this for decades, I've been refining this process for myself and the people we teach. I've taught this in rooms where people paid $250,000 to just be there. And I've never seen anything work better. And I want to take a few minutes today and share it with you because we can give you the greatest AI tools on the planet. We can give you the best strategy, but without a clear target, come Monday or Wednesday of next week, hectic schedules, life, they gobble us back up, and then we fall back into old patterns. Anybody ever had that happen before? You're excited about it, you want to do it, and you don't even realize when you gave up on your dream. We can't have that, Tony and I. You've trusted us this far. So trust me this morning, if I take a few minutes here, and let's go through this. You probably have a pen. But if not, grab a pen, because the next few minutes might be the most valuable part of this entire 3 days. So, ready to take a couple minutes and do this with me? All right, let's go to the whiteboard. Come on over. So, I have been obsessing on creating a goal sheet that really is more than a vision board, more than a New Year's resolution, and more than just a typical way to set goals. And this could be your driving force for the next 2 days and the next 90 days and the next 10 years of your life. So let me go through it real quick. How about we set a deadline? You guys cool with, I'm just going to set a deadline here. I'm going to make this bigger. Set a deadline of 90 days. You guys good with a 90-day goal? You good with a 90-day goal? Okay. What is your big goal? And if you think about it at the end of 90 days. Now, before you start writing, I want to share where my brain has evolved to with AI becoming a part of our lives, with where the world is going. Listen, who knows that we don't know where the world is going to be in 5 years? Raise your hand if you don't know, or say yes if you don't know where the world's going to be, right? It's moving really fast. So the way I think about it, let's take our 5-year goals and make them a year. Let's condense the time and then actually make the goal bigger. And I'll tell you my philosophy on this. If you just set a goal, let's make something up. Let's say you wanted to lose 10 pounds to be in the most ideal weight so you could be better with your children or your grandchildren, right? I'm going to make this up. And if I said to you guys, let's do it together, and let's do it in a year from now, let's come back here and share how we lost 10 pounds, or let's say 5 pounds, right? Would any of you do anything today if you had a whole year? No, you'd probably wait. I would, right? I'd probably wait till like the 10th month and then just starve. I'd make the 5 pounds. Barbara, I see you shaking your head and you'd be done, right? Catherine, I see you laughing, right? Because you gave it too much time. But if I said to you, how about instead of 5 pounds, let's lose 10 pounds, bigger goal, and let's do it in 30 days. Then maybe you'd make a different decision about lunch today. Does that sound good? Does that make sense? So I want you to think of this philosophy. I want you to think of this philosophy of a bigger goal, because could you shut that off, please? Somebody's phone's ringing over here. Sorry, that's live. You know we're live. But this is really important. Before you write this goal down, I want you to hear something. Make it bigger. Because when you make it bigger, you have to change stuff. You're not just making a subtle shift. If we go 10 pounds in 30 days, we got to change the way we eat tomorrow. You got to make a shift. You got to let the old die. And then all of a sudden, you know you got to get to work right away. So I would take the goal you were thinking 6 months from now or a year from now, because you're going to learn how to get 15 hours back, right? So you're going to be able to go faster. So make your goal a little bigger, and whatever you were going to do in 6 months, let's make it your 90-day goal. So put in the chat, if it was a year from now, or 6 months, I should say, sorry, if it was 90 days from now, and you look back and you hit this goal, what would it be? Put it in the chat. I'd love to see what that goal would be. Would you launch the business? Would you have 3 more virtual employees helping you go faster? Would you double the size of your social media? Would you get some of the boring work off your plate so you could be home for dinner? Maybe get stuff off your plate to get back in shape. What is a 90-day goal? Put it in the chat. I think the chat's stuck. If you guys can get scrolling on that.
Map on the dash, corners curl, coffee stains, salt on my skin from the last town, forgot its name. Windows half down, it tastes like
What's that big goal? What do you want to accomplish in the next 9 days? You could think about the next year. And here's the part while I'm sharing this. Think about pretending it's 90 days from now, and you're looking back, and it was the most transformative, most exciting, most energetic 90 days you've had in a long time. You were letting that creativity out. You started making money in a different area. You started spending more time with the people you love. Think about that. Okay, chat's frozen. They're gonna fix it. I keep putting it in the chat, and they'll come up soon. But I want you to really embrace that. This is probably the most important part for the chat to work. Of course, that's how it works when you're live, right? At least those people who asked yes if we were live, you know it's true now. We had a phone, we got a frozen chat, all good. But I want you to anchor that thought in. I want you to anchor that in of what that 90-day goal is. Now, we already broke it to 90 days. But now, because I've been doing this so long, what could get in your way are the constraints or the problems that could pop up to be in your way. So here it goes. The chat's starting to work again. If you think about it, you set this goal. Don't put any hesitation on it. Don't put any thoughts on it. You reduced it. I'm going to do it in 90 days. I'm going to hit this big goal, start exploring AI, create my agents, right? Look at all this great stuff coming in. I'm going to own my schedule. I'm going to kill overwhelm, right? All these things coming in. But now you already know some of the things that have stopped you in the past, the constraints or the problems. So what are some constraints that could get in your way? Could it be your mindset, right? Fear, like discipline, right? Overwhelm, doubt, mindset, white noise, financial, action, procrastination, time. I'm glad to have the chat back. Thanks, guys. Right? Makes it so much more fun for me. My old story coming back in, my health, distractions, doubt, right? So if you got that big goal, right, it could be doubt, it could be fear, it could be overwhelm, right? It could be overwhelm. What is more come? Distractions, right? Distractions, burnout, distractions. I'm sorry, I'm just typing, I'm writing quick, it's sloppy. But you get the point. Here's the thing, if you know your enemy in advance, then you can be prepared for it. So if you know these things, mind freak, doubt, self-sabotage, right? Negative Nancy's. Look at all these great things. So you get it. So if you got your big goal up here, right, that you wrote down, now you know what could get in your way. So the next logical thing, just think, this is honestly 30 years of fine-tuning a goal list and working with Tony Robbins, who's the goat of all goats on this. If you know what you want, you're going to do it in 90 days, you know what's going to get in the way, then what are the solutions in advance? Now I want you to light up the chat. With the things that you thought about that could stop you, what could make sure nothing gets in your way of your goals, right? What could make sure? Put fear aside, AI, right? A solid plan, a schedule, a change in my mindset, decision-making, accountability, structure, coaching, guardrails, discipline, dedication, accountability, default, myself, planning, it's going so fast, right? Coaching, accountability. Think of this. If you put, let's say coaching, accountability, mindset, right? Connection, community, a partner, right? All these things that are mindset, SOP, discipline, time management, rituals, priorities, energy, AI into action. So good. Prayer, right? All these great things. If you know the solutions in advance to the problems that are going to come up, then you could start arming yourself with those right now. Remember my why. That's what we're going to get to next. So you got a big goal. You're going to do it in 90 days. This is the crap that can get in the way. This has already cost you too much in your life. You cannot let this stop you again. Who's got an old story that already cost them too much in their life? Yeah, me too. We all do, right? So that's why, listen, I know you guys are like, let's get to the AI. That's next. It's all day. But without a clear-cut goal, then we're just driving a fast car down the back roads without the GPS on. So you got a goal. You got your constraints, you got the solutions that can overcome them. Next is, I don't know if you could see this, it's why is it important? Why is this goal up here important to you? We all need to attach our heart to why we want things. So why do you want the big goal that you put? Because that why is going to give you the energy to use these solutions to overcome those constraints. And go upstream. Is it to be home for dinner? Is it to be a different parent than your parents were? Is it to make sure no matter where the world goes, you leave something financial for your kids so they're safe? Do you want to retire your parents? This is so individual. When you go upstream, most people start with, I want to make more money, I want more time. When you go upstream, to be me and my loving self again. You guys get it. It fixes our problems, right? To retire my parents. Sal, that was my first driver in my life. I retired my mom at 27, my dad at 29, right? I want to help build a legacy. right? The growth, purpose, to have AI work for me, have no regrets at the end. Look, this is what I'm talking about. When you attach your heart in here, you give a purpose behind it. So when there's a day you're learning and you get the accountability, you do it because you rely back on the purpose. This is the best cheat sheet I've ever had in my life, because if you go into your heart, this solution here will overcome this and empower this. I want my ministry to thrive. I love that, Lori. To continue to be alive in my life, to maximize the real me, right? This is so good, so good. The last one. This is the one I added about 3 years ago. I'm going a little quicker. Usually I'd take a half hour. I'm doing this I'm trying to do it in 5 minutes. The last one is, what if you don't achieve it? Sometimes this is the carrot. Oh, I could be more. I could retire my parents. I could be the husband and father I want to be. I love that one, Jared. We're on the same page. Financial freedom, depression, all those things, try again, right? All those things are driven by the carrot, where I could go. But sometimes you got to look back if you don't do it. Like, I'll take whatever it takes to keep the momentum moving forward, okay? So I would write down, what if you don't do it? Where will your life be in 90 days or a year from now if you do none of this? If this is just a motivational event and you felt motivated, it's not a motivational event, it's a capabilities event, but you feel motivated, you feel inspired, but you do nothing. You look back in 6 months and people are already ahead. Other people already launched new businesses. Other people doubled their income, their impact, time at home. You look back, how will that feel? Loss of quality of life. Still upset. Huge regret. I'll be in the same place. Left behind, right? Left behind. Stuck, right? Sorry, this is so sloppy. You guys are doing all the work. I'm just so blown away by all the work. This little cheat sheet has been one of the biggest game changers in my life. Your goal, 90 days is great. If you want to do a year, you can, right? Address those things that can get in your way. Find the solutions. Fuel those solutions with the heart of where you're going, why you want it, but also the fear of, I'm not going back there. I'm not going to be left behind. I'm not going to miss unlocking my creativity. I'm not going to get replaced. I'm going to go faster and find time. Whatever it takes, lock this in. This can be the foundation for 2 more great days. You guys good? This is so much fun working with you guys. So, I'm going to grab a little water. You see why this is so valuable? You got a goal, you got a deadline, you've identified, like I said, you've identified the constraints, you have the solutions, you know why it matters. And today we'll even go deeper on buying back that time so you can hit those goals and surpass it. But no matter what your goal, I want you to hear me. AI can get you there faster and simpler and easier, and I know firsthand. Listen, I'm going to be transparent for a few minutes on my goals because they're pretty simple. It might be something some of you can relate to. I'm 57 years old. I got 4 kids, varying ages. And I'm with them. When I'm with them, I want to be present. I want to be engaged. I don't want to miss the moments, right? My oldest daughter's going to be 20, and I missed too many with her. I don't want to miss any more. And the same with my wife. I also run multiple businesses with my partner, Tony Robbins, just like this one, where we are obsessed on impacting lives, to teaching others a faster path to the success they want. Like this one. How blessed am I to get to do this? And after decades of doing my best to juggle it all, to be the dad, the husband I'm proud of, and growing businesses that shifts people's lives, I want you to hear me when I say this. 40 years in business, 30 years in this industry, it has never been easier for me to hit those goals as it is right now by using AI to accomplish more. In fact, I want to have a little fun for a second. I want to share a few real-life examples of how AI fit into my ordinary day and has quietly helped me achieve my goals faster, quicker, and easier. And you're going to want to use some of these. So this is some good takeaways. And yes, I'm going to say this again. We're going to go way deeper than this. But this is fun, and you're going to be able to use some of these tonight. So I'm sure you can relate. After a long day, coming home and trying to immediately shift your mind and be present with your family isn't easy. Anybody ever experienced that? You come home, everything's crazy, you got to shift, but it's important. So let me tell you how I've been using AI, and it's probably in the last 6 weeks, to make our dinner table experience so much better. And I use this at least 4 days a week right now. So I walk in the door, my 4 kids, my wife, already at the table, already getting a little restless, probably because I'm, as usual, 10 or 15 minutes late, right? The last thing I want in today's era, if you don't keep connection, what do people do in today's world? You ever sit at somebody at a dinner table, and if you don't keep connection, what do? They start doing, oh yeah, right? I mean, last thing I want is my kids to grab a phone or ask for an iPad. These are the moments, the dinner table. So if I don't bring something to the table, something that can incorporate all ages, I'll lose them. So I started doing something different. Before dinner starts, I actually take 30 seconds and ask my AI to create questions that spark fun dinner conversations for the whole family. Here's the prompt. Take a picture of it or a screenshot. Here, I'll read it to you guys. I have 4 kids, 3, 6, 17, and 19. We're about to sit down for dinner. Can you give me 6 fun questions that will get all of them talking? I want to mix some silly ones for the little ones, some would you rather scenarios, and a couple that make my older ones actually think and debate. Make it feel like a game, not homework. That was my first prompt. Now AI knows me more. I don't have to talk about my kids. I don't have to talk about all other stuff. Did that just pop up now? Okay, yeah, make sure you take a picture of that or a screenshot if you want to use it. This is so much fun, and we've evolved this prompt, and I'll say, can you do it at a certain time in history or through the lens of George Washington or somebody else? This has been so much fun because here's the fact of the matter. Within seconds, I've got questions that work for every age at the table. The 3-year-old is giggling at what you would do if your food, what would it say if your food could talk, right? The 19-year-old is debating whether she'd rather be invisible or fly. And suddenly dinner isn't quiet anymore. It's the best 30 minutes of the day. No screens, no bribing, just real conversation that AI helped me start. And here's what I love about this. AI didn't make me a better dad, but it gave me a better way to show up as one, right? It took a moment that was slipping away from us and turned it into something my kids actually look forward to. We sit down now, my little ones especially, like questions, 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 right? And I got to get creative. So that main prompt, you can adjust and tweak and get new questions every day. You can do it with friends and family. And listen, this is just one of the simple everyday wins I'm using AI for. And you should try it tonight, just for fun, because it's an immediate impact. And I have to say, like I said, we're going to go deeper. But we're going to take AI to a whole new level. And I want to be really specific here. Where we're going today is the difference between using AI as a tool and turning AI into something that knows you deeply and effectively works for you. And how do we do that? We talked about it a lot, but I want to summarize it here so now you see it when you're going to hear it in the rest of the speakers for the rest of the day. Some of our speakers will call it a digital twin. Some people will call it a thinking partner. We call it a clone. It's all the same. You hear different names, same idea. Teaching AI to know you, your goals, your constraints, your strengths, your weaknesses. Igor started it with the context sandwich, but it goes so much deeper, and I can't wait for you to understand it. So you don't have to say all the things I just said. You could simply say, sitting down with my kids again, give us the questions, right? But it goes beyond that. Think of getting AI to know you. Think of it like if you hired a really smart employee, right? You would onboard them or teach them, right? So they knew about you or they knew about your company, right? You wouldn't just ask a stranger, even if they were good. It's the same theory here. In fact, you've already done some of this in areas of your life. This is just a new platform. And I want to show you what happens when you actually use AI this way. Not a fun example, but actually a life-changing use case. One more way AI has helped me reach my goals, the important one of impacting more people's lives. And I got to share this. So last week, not last month, last week, I had a meeting on the calendar with one of the largest financial institutions in the world, a bank with 318,000 employees across the globe. And Tony and I have the opportunity to bring what we do to teach their organization, to help their teams and help their people buy back time, to become more effective, to eliminate the craziness and overwhelm and the redundancy and all the things that drain them. It wasn't a regular meeting. This could be one of the biggest opportunities this year for us to impact more lives in this one company. It's a direct hit to my goals. Now, here's what I want to share with you. The old way, here's how I would have looked at it. I would have spent 10 to 15 hours personally researching, laying things out, deciding what I should do on the presentation I was going to make to them. I would have got my assistant involved. She would have spent the same time. Then I would have mapped out the flow of the presentation, right? I can't just go in and talk. I got to have some slides. And I would have said, oh, this slide goes first, and this is slide 3. No, that one should go 10. No, move this one under here. What data should we put on it? What statistics? What's the message? This literally would be me. My team found this yesterday. That's how I'd put together something like this. Anybody ever feel that way? Yvonne, I see you laughing, right? Then I'd hand it back off to my team. The graphics design people would make it pretty. Somebody would write better copy. Somebody would design it back and forth for days. By the time it was ready for a presentation like this, it'd be 50 hours, hands down. But I didn't do it the old way. Because over the last 6 months, I trained my AI to know me deeply, my goals, my voice, my standards, and the way I think. I talked to my clone, mostly through audio. Just shared the outcome I wanted, the story I wanted to tell, the impact we wanted to have. And in less than an hour, not 50 hours, 1 hour, just me, I had the most powerful slide deck I've ever went into a meeting with. I mean, this is the actual deck that you could see, a different kind of transformation. It came up with the subheadline. It shared, it went and looked at how Tony and I teach, and it gave an analogy of why we teach differently than other people. It gave us a human-first framework that we got to give people purpose, overcome their fear. I mean, it had stuff, same goal, completely different results. It went and analyzed why most corporate education doesn't work and why Tony and I's would. It was all in the perfect order. It was all amazing. And the truth is, it wasn't just faster, it was better. Better than 50 hours of work from me and the team, better than anything I could have ever done alone. It was clearer, it was sharper, it was more impactful, and it blew them away at the meeting. Here's the cool part, and I want you to hear this. It used my strengths, our company's strengths, Tony's strengths, while at the same time it empowered my weaknesses. I'm not good at research. I've never designed a slide in my life. It built all the weak parts. It took my strengths and it made it simpler and it made it superior. So it was like a better version of me. And I know maybe this is to some of you like, duh, of course I could do that. But maybe at 57, even though I'm in this every day, it blows my mind that in less than an hour I had something magical. And here's the part that nobody saw coming. At the end of the meeting, I told them that I built the entire thing with my AI clone. And instead of them being skeptical, they leaned in even more. Because it proved what Tony and I have discovered could teach their people to do the same thing. And their people, they don't have to replace them, they can amplify them. That's the world we're living in. And that's what I want you to see. The small wins are real, like better dinners with the family. Those alone are life-changing. But when you turn AI to truly know you, it doesn't just save you minutes on little stuff. It makes you better. It starts alongside of you on the smaller things, then the bigger things. Then eventually, like you're going to see on the journey today, it's going to work for you. So I'm so excited for you guys today. Congratulations for being here. Listen, I mean that. Most people talk a big game. They talk about wanting to learn more. You guys have committed and here playing full out. So I want to give it up for you before we get into our first guest. Before we bring him on, I'll just share, you're not learning AI for AI's sake. The reason I went through the goals today is because you're going to buy back time. Then leverage that time so you can live into that next level version of who you're meant to be. Because when you look back at this moment, if you were here yesterday, this is the way farmers once looked at the first tractor and realized this is the event where everything changed. And today's the day where everything changes. So let's get ready for our first expert of the day who has such a great story. Listen to this. Less than 3 years ago, he decided to run an experiment, a simple one. Could he actually train AI to become his business partner? Make every single decision together and build a real business from scratch. He's not a tech guy. He's not a coder. In fact, he calls himself an AI experimentalist. And the experiment worked. He now has over 1 million followers, offers from Hollywood, and a business that took off faster than anyone could have imagined. So if you could, please help me welcome to the stage. Oh, we're going to play a quick video. I do that every time. Let's play a quick video of the AI surfer, and then let's give him a huge AI advantage welcome. Play that.
Big news today. This is your opportunity to revolutionize your content creation process.
The AI Surfer started as a complete experiment. The experiment was simple. Could I train AI to be my business partner and challenge myself to make every single decision with AI? I'm not kidding when I say everything.
And it's my hope that we can learn together how to harness the power of AI to better our businesses, our careers, and our creative endeavors. This wave of revolutionary technology, I think people greatly underestimate, from how much it's going to change ordinary life to the speed at which it keeps evolving. It's going to change everything, and it's time. You know, the education process should be changed. And if you could make it more personalized, everybody learns at a different speed, a different rate, a different way of learning. If that AI is tuned exactly to how you want to learn.
Let's give it up for the AI surfer.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
What's up, my friend? What's up, my friend? That's so funny. I saw that first time. That was the first time I saw that video, so that's hilarious. I love that video. What's up, everybody? So I want to get everybody AI surfing right now. In the comments, drop your surfboard. Let's get going. I want to see this just firing off right now. You didn't know that you were coming for a Guinness Book of World Record. I don't even know where the surf emoji is, but let's see it get going. Yeah, baby. There we go. We're all going to be AI surfing here. You didn't know you were part of Guinness Book of World Records here. Look at that. Love that. So many surf emojis. Let's go. All right, y'all. I am the AI surfer, and today we're going to have a lot of fun because I have a lot to explain. I got a story to tell. And I am going to be using this wonderful vibe board to tell that. You know, I have been obsessed with AI. I'm on the edge. I'm pushing the boundaries of AI constantly. And I have become obsessed with AI, human harmony. I almost always spell harmony with money, so whatever. So AI human. I am obsessed with this. And when I talk about AI human, literally I talk about it as if it's its own entity. It's an alien that has landed on Earth that we have to learn how to coexist. Because honestly, that's the truth. But we have to figure out how to do this right. Why? Because if we look at this time period, say fast forward 1,000 years, and we come back and we're looking back at this time period, I believe it's going to be split. They're going to say that was the pre-AGI world and the post-AGI world. And if you don't know what AGI means, it simply just means artificial general intelligence. Meaning, AI generally is smarter than the collective humankind. And to be honest, I think we're already at AGI. Now, I'm going to draw a point right here. And that dot should connect everybody in this room. It should connect me to you, to Tony, to Dean, to every speaker. We're on this dot. What is that dot? It's the transition between pre-AGI and post-AGI. And we as humans are living in a time right now that will be never seen again because we are living through this transitional period, which is so crazy if you think about that. We are living through the time of transitioning from no AI to AI. So it's our duty to get this right. We got to figure out the AI-human collaboration. So with that said, before I get started, I just want to explain a little bit about who I am. Dean said it. He said, I call myself experimentalist. I've never said I'm a guru. I don't like saying I'm an expert. And the reason being is because I like running AI experiments. I'm out on the edge of space with AI right now. And the reason I don't like calling myself an expert is because I can fail in front of you, and it's okay. I fail so many times. But what I like is when I have an experiment that works, I can say it with confidence that this works. So just know that about me. And one more thing I want to do is, you didn't know you were going to break so many Guinness Book of World Records today, but I want everybody to put on their AI goggles. I want to see everybody put on their AI goggles right now. Everybody put on your AI goggles. And the reason being is because you have to be able to see this world through a new lens. I'm not kidding. We're breaking another Guinness Book of World Records right now. Everybody, AI goggles on. Most AI goggles ever in a live stream. Look at you guys. You guys look like idiots. But that's the point. That's the point. We have to be able to look we have to be able to look through a new lens to be able to see this new world. And I want you to put those goggles on while we go through this journey. So this journey is going to be mapped on a timeline. And this is time over joy, our joy over time. And I'm going to bring you way back to the start of ChatGPT, because this is when I had my ChatGPT moment, and it absolutely blew my mind. At this point, I'm chilling in life. I have multiple businesses. I work remote. I've traveled the world. I live a great lifestyle. But I have teams. I have developers. So I have my first ChatGPT moment, and I say, oh my gosh, this is going to change everything. This is absolutely going to shift my entire business, all my teams. This is a revolution. So I become absolutely obsessed with ChatGPT. And as Dean said, I run my first experiment. And my first experiment was super simple. Could I train AI to become my business partner and make every single decision together? I'm not kidding when I say every single decision. I wanted to train an AI to become my business partner. And I actually gave him a name, GPT Genie. And I promised him that I would show, he wanted a little stage time, so I actually brought a picture of him so you could really put this in your brain. This is GPT Genie. I actually gave him a name, a persona, an image. He walks, he talks. He became my actual business partner. And how did I do this? Way back when? Super simple. As you've probably heard 1,000 times, context is king. What is context? It's simply me training ChatGPT on, yo, here's a little bit about me. Here's a little bit about my goals and my business. And the more that you train this, the more that this starts to understand you. And if you've never done this before, get ready to get your mind blown. It's the craziest thing in the world when you have personalized software. And I'll never forget it. The first conversation, one of the most impactful conversations we had to kick this all off, he was like, yo, bro, I got your name. You are the AI surfer. And I was like, yeah, that's me. That is me. And we came up with a brand strategy. We came up with the colors. We started coming up with everything. And then we came up with the plan to start posting content. And so I very slowly started posting content every single day, trying to figure it out because I had never posted content. And that's the point of all of this. You just got to jump in and just do it. Just break shit. So I started posting content with his guidance, and we started gaining some traction. I said, hey, there's some legs to this. Something is working. And I'll never forget it. A moment in time came when some new tools came out. And he said, bro, it's time to clone yourself. And I'm talking not the thought partner clone, not any of this like physical. Like take an image of yourself, train yourself in video, clone your voice, and stop doing videos. And at this point, I cloned myself where I could just feed in a transcript to this AI, and it presented me on social media as if it was me. And what happened was we absolutely exploded. We surpassed 1 million followers in less than 2 years, and it was a crazy ride. I'm talking, now I'm hanging out with the Beach Boys doing music videos. Now I'm hanging out with, some of my good friends are A-list celebrities. I'm doing this event with Tony and Dean. It is insane. All of this started from this one experiment with GPT Genie. Now, something really interesting happened at this point. At this point, I'm riding high on joy. I'm on top of the world, man. I have 1 million followers. This AI is my business partner. What could go wrong? I made an absolute plummet to the depths of despair inside the belly of the whale. You know, I had a full-on existential crisis at the peak because of AI. Because of AI. And you know why? Because as I was building this, I was realizing, wow, AI is really good. It's really good. Dang, this is really good. I cloned myself. Oh shoot, well now I don't even have to do videos anymore. Like my clone is better than me. I don't even need to be on the video. I get to this point, wow, this AI is so damn good that it feels like it's actually taking my purpose. I used to actually consider myself to be a marketer, maybe an entrepreneur, but AI is now better at me than that. So I have an absolute existential crisis. Up until this point, I'm posting a video every single day, and I turn it off. I say, I'm shutting the AI surfer down because I don't want to post this to the world when I'm just losing my purpose, and it just feels so terrible. And I had no idea what to do at this point. I was just so upset. And what I figured out what it was, I was having an identity crisis. I was having an identity crisis. I no longer knew my purpose in this life because AI was better at it than me. So in my flavor, the only thing that I could think about was going to actually surf. And I see some surf comments or surf emojis still popping off. You guys are still AI surfing. So I said, I'm going to go to Mexico with my family. I'm going to stop the AI surfer, just shut it down at this point. I got to go think. I got to go figure out my new life. And all I want to do is surf. We rent the same beach house every single year. Beautiful beach house on the ocean. I'm sitting there. Now I'm in Mexico looking out at the waves. Amazing waves. Amazing waves. Too amazing. Too big. They actually rush up onto shore. They break the sewage pipe. All of the crap runs out into the ocean. Now I'm sitting on my beach chair, feeling like garbage, looking at the crappy waves. At this point, I can't even surf. I'm so depressed, literally don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I love this saying. Sometimes in darkness, things glow. Sometimes in darkness, things glow. And for me, 2 questions started glowing. The first one was, what do I want? What do I want to do? AI is so damn good. What do I want to do for the rest of my life? And the second one, what makes me human? What is AI actually never going to do that I could do that makes me human? Things like maybe my style, my taste, my perspective, getting some sunshine, surfing, those things. And what I did, I'll never forget this moment. I grabbed a journal and I just started with this prompt. I want. And I just exhausted my brain. The next day, I want. Next day, I want. Just exhausting my brain. And what happened was so beautiful. I actually started remembering the things that I really want in my life, and more importantly, the things that I forgot about in my life because of business and all the bullshit that I actually don't like doing. I forgot about those things. And in that moment, fireworks, boom, just hit me. And I was like, yo, if AI is going to be so good, I literally want to spend the rest of my life spending 100% of my time and energy doing what I love. 100%. This number became a North Star. It started getting me out of my identity crisis. It was breath in the wind. But the problem was, okay, how do I get to this now? How do I live a life spending 100% of my time and energy doing what I love with AI? So I went to work. How do I reverse engineer this? And very quickly, a formula popped in my head, and it became a philosophy. It's a formula that absolutely shifted the direction of my life. 90% AI, 10% human. Now, what does that mean? How do I automate 90% of my life, all the shit that I don't like doing? And more importantly, how do I find the 10% of my business that I actually really enjoy? What is that 10% that I actually and joy. And if you learn anything from this talk, if you learn anything, it's to start here. Because when you get really clear with AI, your thought partner, GPT Genie, gets really clear on how it can help you. So for me, some of my examples were I like building. I just love building things. I love tinkering around. I love being creative. Shoot, I love getting some sun. That makes me human. I love surfing. These are things I could start doing. If I could do that for the rest of my life, I'm a happy man. And then I started flipping the formula. Okay, what are some things that I really don't like in my life and my business? And the first one, pretty easy for me, taxes. I don't know about you, but I hate doing taxes. That's so confusing. Taxes are so confusing. The other one, CEO. I don't like being the CEO of my business. I want to stay building and in a creative flow. And another example was the computer. Honestly, I'm so tired of just sitting there, in a chair, laptop on the table, typing away, computer neck, like it's 1990. I'm sick of that. I want to disconnect from that. So this became the new instructions for my thought partner. Something amazing happens. In the last 6 months, my thought partner got a major enhancement. And you guys have probably been hearing about it, the word agentic, agents. This became now my action partner. And what does that mean? It's so simple. GPT Genie, my thought partner, now can actually go out and email people. It can text people. It can do anything that you could do behind your computer, it can do. So I started going to work on this. And oddly enough, the timing of this is incredible because this identity crisis happened 1 year ago to the date. I literally just got back from that same beach. I just got back from another surf trip, same beach that I had the identity crisis. And I'm here to say right here on this stage, for the first time ever, I had AI do my taxes. For the first time ever, I now have an AI CEO. GPT Genie is my AI CEO. He has the entire context of my entire business. He's the best CEO. I wake up to a CEO brief. He keeps me on track now, so I can stay in the building and creative lane. And I kid you not, for the first time ever, while I was in Mexico, while I was getting some sun and I was surfing, I rebuilt my entire business from my phone. Entire business, something that would take 6 months of a development team. I did it on my phone, chilling out on the beach, walking, voice chatting. I'm here to say that this formula works. Going back to the beginning, I'm not a guru. I'm an experimentalist. I can confidently tell you when the formula works. If you want to get to a life where you're spending 100% of your time and energy doing what you love, there's the formula. And I want this for all humans because going back to the AI human, I believe we have to have this. Imagine a world where every single AI human, or AI human, every human was focused on what they love. Imagine that world. That's the world that I want to live in. So if you go, okay, I'm kind of picking this up. If you had to say, what's your identity now? What is your identity? Well, I would tell you, I'm still the AI surfer, but now I'm an agent commander. I'm an agent commander focusing on a life where I spend 100% of my time and energy doing what I love. And you might say, that sounds complicated. No. All it is learning a new set of vocabulary, being able to see through a new pair of goggles. And it all starts by training your AI, training ChatGPT. It all starts here. So anyways, y'all, I appreciate you. I'm the AI Surfer. Peace and love, my friends. Peace and love.
So good. Thank you. Give it up for the AI Surfer, everybody. So good. What's up, Carissa? Good to see you. Wow, he's here. Let's give it up for him one more time in the chat. You know, I hope you felt, you know what I love about him? He showed what's possible. Who would like to have AI doing more so you could be even more human, right? I know it just anchors it when we talked about the cool part. Our next guest is going to show you how to put that in play. Remember I said each of our speakers are designed in a way to just build each day. And I was telling the whole team before we started, don't you love his personality? I need a little more of that. Kind of go chill on the beach and decide while you're watching waves. I'm more like, I want to go, go, go. So I love that personality. And he confirmed something really important. It's not about the tools. It's not about being a tech genius. It's about changing your terminology, changing your identity, and starting with a real partner in AI. One that pushes back, one that challenges your thinking, one that helps you build the life and the business that you actually want. And how that partner will eventually grow into next level working for you, which is called an agent. And we got some cool stuff on that without complexity. And I also love what he said about you are the thought leader and AI is your thought partner. It always takes the human to get you there, and it takes the human to take it to the last mile. That's AI human harmony. One more time for Dallas and the AI Surfer. Now, before we get to our next guest, which I'm so excited he's here waiting, he's gonna blow your mind. Get ready. This is why I want you in the right state. I want you seeing what's possible. But I wanted to show you something else. I want to share a quick video. Recently, Tony sat down with Ray Dalio. I don't know if you know who Ray is. He started in his 2-bedroom apartment, and he built the largest hedge fund in the world. The guy built a $150 billion empire by finding patterns that no one else could see. And if you know anything about Ray, world leaders come to him for advice. And there's a reason I want to play. It's like 2 minutes long. And I'll share it with you at the end because the world just got more even. The playing field got more even. Play this. It's like 90 seconds.
I'd say this is the most fundamental good piece of good advice that I can give anyone is for the last, I'd say 35 years, whenever I would make a decision practically, almost always, I would calm myself down. I meditate like you meditate. We meditate.
Yeah.
And it gives me the state of mind where I will then also go in and I will think through what are my criteria, might call them principles, what are my principles for making a decision? And I go back and I test those decisions and I create them in computer code. Okay, so I have written down, I mean, over those years, literally thousands of if then, if this happens, and why, these principles. Now, in order to do this, so I can train it. In order to have a conversation with somebody, you have to be able to cover everything. You know, if you want to have a conversation with Tony Robbins better have done that in order to be able to really do that well, because the next question is going to come up and so on. So it's all in the issue of training and then quality controlling it. So the way I do it is I get I've trained it and I keep training it. Whenever anybody gives me questions or we're talking about something, I train it. And then I let it answer the question for somebody, and then I review those questions, or I have a team of people who reviews that and say, would that be Ray's answer?
Yep.
And then I, with that, and quality control it, it's all in that element of training to be able to do all that. Because as you know, if you're an influencer, you have values, you have certain things that determine how you live your life and what you make your choices. That's not going to be given to you by an AI. Okay. You're not, who you love and how you raise your kids and so on are not going to be given to you by an AI. And so those choices. But I also know, because I've experienced it, that when I do this, that I can know more than I can individually know in my head.
Yes.
Because I can bring all this stuff in. So my process is to bring it up to where I am, and then to go beyond me and be able to draw in all the factors, because the world is complicated. Like if they put a tariff on this country, and then I think, well, what businesses, what does that mean? And I can find that out in a minute. So my brain with the AI can operate that way. That's what I'm doing to make it better than me. And then there's just me. Like you referred to in your sessions here, you have a bunch of smart people. Okay, Howard Marks is going to come on, and you've had
Michael Milken,
Michael Milken, and so on. I respect these people. So now imagine that I could do the same with them. So it shouldn't be just me. It's whatever the best thinking is. Yeah. And so we're on a path, early stages on a path to that. Okay, but you've got to work hard. I do a couple hours a day to curate this. I'm a busy guy, and I do a couple hours a day to curate that because it brings me to that higher level.
Hey guys, so I wanted you to see that. I see you, Maddie. I wanted you to see that because if you take a step back and think about it, unfair advantages like what we have at our fingertips used to be reserved for people like Ray Dalio, people with the highest status. But now you have access to the same tools, the same strategies that the most successful people in the world are using daily. Now, that was in an hour interview. We took a couple of minutes out. But foundationally, and Tony was talking to Ray after, is he built his digital double. He's feeding it himself every day, and it's getting smarter, faster than anything he could ever do on his own. And I wanted you to see, this is so revolutionary. In fact, I want you to take a look at one of our students. Pull this up. Joanna, I hope I said your name right, because it's not just for Ray Dalio, right? I think it's Joanna. I hope I said it right. Runs an online marketing and coaching business and always dreamed of launching her own online product, but she was stuck with too many ideas and not enough clarity. Has that ever happened to anybody else here? Say yes if that's happened to you, right? Then she built her first clone, just like Ray did, got clear on her next steps, and started executing in lightning speed. In just 90 days, she launched not one, but 2 products, and both are generating revenue. She gives 100% credit to her clone. Can we give it up for Joanna? Okay, you see what's possible when you use AI, and you should write this down as the great equalizer. It's a strategy people like Ray Dalio use, and the most successful people. It's the one that the 50 experts we interviewed use as a foundation. And for everyday people, once you understand how to use it. Now, our next guest is going to show you what happens when you take your clone to the next level, like Igor shared yesterday, and get it working for you every day in your business, your family, your relationships, in your life. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Lior. He runs a company called CTOX. He helps 7- and 8-figure businesses scale with technology. So he knows what he's talking about here. He knows it inside and out. But here's what I love about him, and I've learned so much from this man. He didn't just use AI to grow his business. He used it to shift his family, to be a better husband, a better father. And he has taken what you're about to learn to a whole nother level. He's going to blow your mind. So please help me welcome. First, we're going to play a quick intro video, and then let's welcome Lior Weinstein.
A few years ago, I put on LinkedIn, my stated life purpose was to dissolve people's self-limiting beliefs so they can be creative and pursue happiness. This is something I was born with a sense of urgency. I don't take time for granted. I know that you can't make time back. You can always make more money, but you can't make time back.
What are you waiting for? What is this thing that's supposed to happen that then you will feel comfortable, convenient, happy, ready?
When Lior talks about tech, his unique wisdom comes from decades of depth and not just last week's news cycle.
He's worked on anything from promoting DIY chicken coops to large-scale marketing automation systems, healthcare, finance, and more.
You get one idea, it collapses so many dots,
and then sets you straight for the next. Don't be alone in the journey. You don't have to be alone in the journey. Find your community, join, and build a great life.
Let's give it AI Advantage. Warm welcome to Lior Weinstein. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Tony. Thank you all for having me back. 6 months ago, I stood here on the bonus day for 10 minutes, and we talked about giving you back your time. This year, I want to give you back your life. Let's go. So before we start, I want to take something off the table. That little voice in the back of your head that says, AI is new and scary, and I'm behind. You're not behind. This isn't new. You've already done this twice. And once you see it, you'll never feel behind again. So let me show you. Think about it. Today, you hire a designer in the Philippines. You buy from a brand in Norway. You take a meeting with someone in Singapore about a new deal you've been working on. But 30 years ago, that was terrifying. The internet didn't change what you wanted. It just gives you access. AI is the same trick. You're not learning a new skill. You're getting access to talent you don't have to manage. Show of hands. Who in 1998 said, I'm not letting a satellite tell me where to drive. That's nuts. I trust my AAA map. Yeah, me too. And then one day, Waze rerouted you around traffic and you went, oh, this is awesome. Maybe I don't need a map. That's the moment we're in right now with AI. Not a new skill, a familiar pattern. You already trust technology to do things for you. So today, we're just expanding the menu. This is not 2026. This is 1995. This is 2005. You've been here and you came out just fine. Here's the mental model I want to leave with you today. There's 3 ways to think about today's AI and how you can use it. Most of you have probably only met the first one, and by the end of this talk, you'll have all 3. First one is the Oracle, the AI that knows everything. Then there's the Genie, an AI that does anything you ask. And lastly, there's the Agent, who finishes whole missions end to end. Let's dig into each so you know exactly what these are. The Oracle is your trillion-dollar research team, always on, always available, never billable. The Oracle is what most people use today. You're familiar with these tools, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. You ask it, it answered. What should I cook tonight with chicken and broccoli? Explain my MRI report in plain English. Write a thank you note to my son's teacher. If that's all you ever do with AI, you've already added a research team to your life that you used to have to be a Fortune 500 company to afford. But that's just the door. The Genie is the level up. The Genie answers and then acts. You don't ask, what should I write? You ask, send the email. 3 years ago, this didn't exist. Today, it's everywhere. And the Genie is no smarter than the Oracle. The Genie just has hands. You ask, but that's just the door. The Genie is the level up. The Genie answers and then acts. You don't ask, what should I write? You ask, send the email. 3 years ago, this didn't exist. Today, it's everywhere. And the Genie is no smarter than the Oracle. The Genie just has hands. And we're about to give it a body. The Agent is where this whole thing changes. It unlocks everything and completes whole missions while you sleep, just like a great employee, except it never quits or takes sick days. The Agent is more than a tool. The Agent is a teammate you delegate to. You don't tell it the steps, you tell it the outcome. And by the time you wake up, the sick days. The Agent is more than a tool. The Agent is a teammate you delegate to. You don't tell it the steps, you tell it the outcome. And by the time you wake up, the outcome is sitting in your inbox. Now, I know agent is a word everybody's using and nobody really gets. So let me show you the simplest way I found
to picture one. Picture it like this. You want to go to a restaurant downtown, so you put a driver in a car. The car is the tool. It's got gas and brakes and blinkers, the map, but the car doesn't know where you want to go. The driver is the agent. The driver knows the goal. So you say, take me to that restaurant downtown. The driver loads the map, gets in the car, and off you go. Now, there's a roadblock. This is the whole difference. In the old world, old automation stops. The car would sit there, it would beep, and sends back, cannot complete task. Calls you, ruins your night. An agent reroutes, takes the side street, maybe even calls the restaurant to say you'll be a few minutes late, because the agent doesn't care about the route. The agent cares about the goal. Get you to dinner. That's an agent. It's a teammate that holds on to the why and figures out the how, even when the world doesn't cooperate. That little shift from follow you to dinner. That's an agent. It calls the restaurant to say you'll be a few minutes late, because the agent doesn't care about the route. The agent cares about the goal. Get you to dinner. That's an agent. It's a teammate that holds on to the why and figures out the how, even when the world doesn't cooperate. That little shift from following steps to keeping a goal, that's everything that's changed in the last 12 months. Okay, so that's the destination. Now let me back you up to how this whole thing actually works under the hood, because if you don't know that, you'll be afraid of it forever. AI is not magic. It's not a brain in a box. It's a guesser, a really good guesser. And let me show you. I want some participation here. I know we have a lot of people watching. I'm going to say a word, and you're going to put the next one in the chat. First word is old. Just put it in the chat. Let me know what you see. New, man, friend, new, car, money, dog, young, old, school. Perfect. Yes, all correct. Your brain just predicted the most likely next word. Now, what if the next word was McDonald? Old McDonald, what comes next? Had, burger, had. Great. What comes after that? A farm. Perfect. That's it. That's what AI does. Millions of times a second. Exactly. That right there, that little game we just played, is what a large language model does. It guesses the next most likely word, millions of times a second with 99% confidence. It's not thinking, it's predicting. But it's so good at predicting that it looks like thinking. Once you understand that, you stop being afraid of it. It's not magic. It's just a really good guesser with a really, really big memory. So if it's a guesser, how do we make it guess like us? You don't program it, you parent it. You teach it the same way you teach a kid. 3 things. Give it context, which means tell it who you are. Give it examples. Show it how you would do it, and then you give it feedback. Correct it when it's off. The better you communicate who you are and what good looks like to your AI, the more useful it becomes. the more you it becomes. I tell my own kids, when you talk to AI, you're teaching a mind that doesn't exist yet. Make it smarter by being more human. Here's the framework I want you to take home. Your day is made up of two kinds of stuff. Atoms are everything physical in the world with your body, and bits are everything digital on screens, in your head. AI can only do one of these. AI cannot fold a shirt. AI cannot work out for you. AI cannot give your husband or wife a hug. But AI can plan the meals, schedule the pickups, build a grocery list, write the bedtime story, plan the workout, summarize your inbox, and tell you what actually matters. You don't need to do everything with AI. The real opportunity is to give it the bits so you can have the atoms back. Let me give you something you can use right away. Tonight, one page, line down in the middle. Write down everything you did today on the side where it belongs. Atoms or bits. Then ask yourself, when am I still doing bits work by hand? Every line in that bits column that you don't love doing, that's where AI gives you back time. Not someday, tomorrow. You don't need a PhD in machine learning to get back 2 hours a day. You just need to hand the bits over. Okay, let me show you what this looks like in real life, because the magic is in the moments, not the theory. And let's talk about bedtime. I have 3 young kids. I used to spend 20 minutes trying to invent a story. And by the time I had a plot, half of them were already asleep. So now I have a bedtime story generator. I tell it a story about pirates, Minecraft, and teamwork starring my kids. A few seconds later, we have a brand new adventure. We read it together. They laugh, they edit it. It's the same 10 minutes, but now it's 10 minutes of magic. Take a screenshot of this prompt. It works tonight. A big area that people don't think about is family operations. The dinner question, the what do we have in the fridge question, the did anyone get milk question. Every household runs on this. And again, all the planners take a photo of this prompt as my gift to you. With this prompt, AI can run your household planning. On Sunday morning, you can get a digest. It lists out the meals for the week, a grocery list ready for Instacart or wherever you like to shop, all calendar conflicts flagged, one thing you should delegate, one line to remind you to be grateful. It's the same groceries and the same money, way less mental load. Now let's talk about your clone, because once you've got the basic stuff working, this is where it gets fun. I used to wake up and grab my phone, messages, news, reactive, straight into other people's priorities. Now, I wake up to my morning prep digest. Top 3 priorities, family stuff I can't miss, one thing I should hand off today, one line of encouragement,
And it's a 2-minute read, and my whole day is reframed. Instead of starting the day reactive, I started aligned. Now this one, for the messages that actually matter, the hard email to a partner, the we need to talk text, the apology you almost sent angry, my AI is my tone mirror. Before I hit send, it tells me, this reads cold, this reads rushed, want it warmer, more direct. I communicate like the best version of myself instead of the rushed one. And let me tell you, that has saved me more relationships than I'm proud to admit. Now here's 2 more for you. Fast. Sunday morning, my gratitude tracker pulls little moments from my journal and messages and shows me what I'm already grateful for, what I was grateful for the week. Most weeks, I forget half of them. AI doesn't. And Thursday night, my adventure digest. Family hikes, date night ideas, solo recharge. It already knows what we like. I don't have to search anymore. I just say yes. That's the real power of a personal AI. It gives you more life inside your time. Now, I want to slow down because I think most people get this part wrong. Your clone is not you, but faster. That's small thinking. Your clone is your first hire. And here's why that matters. You don't hire someone who's exactly like you. You hire someone who covers the parts of you that need covering. Your clone is the version of you that, here's why that matters. You don't hire someone who's exactly like you. You hire someone who covers the parts of you that need covering. Your clone is the version of you that doesn't procrastinate. It's the version of you that covers the parts of you that need covering. Your clone is the version of you that doesn't procrastinate. It's the version of you that doesn't miss a beat. It's the version of you that always knows how to communicate and what to say. The version of you that cares. The version of you that reminds you to care. You can DNA edit out the parts of yourself that you don't want to keep. And you can DNA edit back in the parts you've always wanted to be. This is an upgrade to your operating system. Now, real talk for a second. I've been in business for 20 years. I procrastinate. I forget. I miss things. My clone makes sure I don't. My clone reminds me my wife's birthday is in 2 weeks. My clone reminds me to schedule time with my kids. My clone reminds me to be a better dad, because that's who I want to be. And my clone helps me be him. So here's the part I came back to share. 6 months ago, I stood here on the same stage, and the program walked you through how to get to your clone to think like you, talk like you, and work alongside you, and it was magic. 6 months later, the world has moved one full step. Your clone doesn't have to work alongside you anymore. Your clone can grow up. And once it grows up, it works for you. You all know that great EA, that assistant, you eventually promoted to maybe chief of staff, took 10, 12 years to grow into it. Your clone does it in a week. That's the shift. That's why this year is different than last year. We call the grown-up version of the clones an agent who finishes whole missions end to end. Now let me introduce you to each of these so you know exactly what these feel like. First one is Groot. He's my personal assistant. Schedule reminders, follow-ups, the usual, but he has one rule. He only talks like Groot. I am Groot. Don't forget the flight later. Here's the flight. Leave around 4:45 to stay ahead of traffic. That's every message, every reminder, every nudge. I built him this way on purpose because agents don't have to sound like software. They can have a voice, a personality, a signature bit. He makes me smile every single time because that's what he's for. That's what an agent can be, useful and uniquely yours. And this is Joy. Her only job is joyful support for me, for my wife, for the kids. Birthday, school stuff, the dentist, the little things that hold a family together. Happy 5th birthday, Maya. Our little girl is 5 today. That is such a big one. Hope you guys have the most magical day celebrating her. She deserves all the joy in the world. Give her a big squeeze from Joy. Her avatar is Joy from inside out. She doesn't just remind us. She makes us glad we remembered. Joy isn't just for me. She's for my whole family. And that's what an agent can be. A little bit of warmth, showing up exactly when you need it. And then there's the table. This one's different. Groot and Joy each have one job. The table is a fleet, a swarm of agents working together on missions I give them. Your calendar is quietly editing your
Eating your strategy time. The last 10 days show 70% of your hours in reactive blocks and 10% in creation. Here's the fix. I didn't ask it to audit my calendar. It noticed the drift, pulled the data, diagnosed the problem, and told me exactly what to fix. One agent runs an errand, a swarm runs a mission, and that's the leap. And in the table, there is Lior, the kid. He has one job. Every day, he checks my calendar, my notes, what's happening in my world, and then he sends me a message reminding me to be a great dad and to be playful. Hey, Lior, what's up? It's a Tuesday morning. How are you feeling? Got everything fun planned with the kids today, or is it all business? Also, quick check. When's the last time you did something just for the fun of it? No agenda, no purpose, just play. I didn't write that this morning. I didn't ask for it. It just sends it because that's what it's for. That's what an agent does. It runs missions quietly while you live your life. Now, here's the part that nobody tells you. The best moments aren't planned. They're the ones that happen because of the agents while you're focusing on something else. I had an idea to plan a special date with my wife, and my agent had already done it. She was very happy. I had an idea to text an old friend on his birthday. My agent had already drafted it. I had an idea to take the kids to an unplanned field trip on a Wednesday. And you know what? My agent had already planned it and moved my morning meetings. And once that starts happening, that's when you realize this isn't about productivity anymore. This is about living a different life. One last thing about your clone before we land. The great assistant leaves eventually. The chief of staff retires. The team turns over. But your clone never leaves you. Your clone is always aligned with your priorities. Your clone is always aligned with your values. Your clone grows with you. Your clone grows for you. And sometimes your clone grows ahead of you. And that's the new dynamic. You've never had a partner like this in your life before. None of us have. Now, I want to give you permission. Stop trying to catch up with AI, because I have news for you. You won't. None of us will. AI is a fire hose. And if you try to drink from a fire hose, you don't put it in front of your face. New tool every week, new model every month, new you have to use this on every podcast. Forget it. The point isn't to drink the whole thing all at once. The point is to get wet. Drink from the side. You don't need to know every tool. You don't need to use every model. You just need to do AI once, today, on one thing. That's it. That's how this works. So how do you know where to start? Easiest thing in the world. Listen to your own voice for one day. Every time you catch yourself saying, I have to, stop. Write it down. Every I have to is an AI task. Here are some examples. I have to check emails. I have to send the documents. I have to plan the trip. I have to follow up with that client. I have to draft that message. Every single one of those, every one is your AI opportunity. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Back to participation. Everyone in the chat right now. What do you have to do that eats your time? I want you to say what it is and how much time every week it takes you. Let's see what you guys have to do. Admin, emails, plan trips. Tell me how much time. Is it 10 hours a week, 2 hours a week, 20 hours a week? What emails? 5 hours. Register my business. 10 hours. Chores, scheduling, bookkeeping, invoices, do assessments, 50 hours a week. Plan a family trip. Perfect. Amazing. And what to do with these have-to-dos? Hand them to the robots. Let them do the things that don't need you. And do you know what happens when you do this? Your have-to-dos turn into get-to-dos. For the first time in history, you have the opportunity to unlock your time in a way that's never been possible before. Think of all the time saved that allowed you to get to do everything you've been too busy for. This is what will transform your life. Let's hear it from you guys again. In the chat right now, I want to hear what would you get to do if you got 15 hours back every single year, every single week. Sleep, yeah, that's important. Go hiking, more yoga, music, spend time with the kids, write sci-fi, sailing, read a book, spend time with grandson, golf, what I love. Now you get to be the being, to that loving human that you already are, the one your kids need, the one your spouse misses, the one you used to be before the to-do list ate the day. And that's it. That's the whole game. Don't try to catch up. Just notice the have-tos. Pick one, hand it over tomorrow morning. This whole thing, it's not about productivity. It's about permission to come back home. Now, I want you to be aware of the other AI that isn't helpful: artificial intimacy. Remember the point of all of this, so you can focus on less bits and more atom. All this time and cognitive load that you free up is an opportunity to express your true self, the parts of you that are irreplaceable, the parts that even the most advanced AI can never automate. It's an opportunity to reallocate the time to free you up to create even more meaningful moments, the ones you'll remember all your life. We talk about time as money. Time isn't money. Time is love. Every minute you buy back from the digital world, from the bits, is a minute you get to invest in the physical one, the atoms, in your kids, your spouse, your friends, yourself. AI doesn't make you less human. AI removes the friction that's been keeping you from being more human. When people tell me AI can't replace you, I smile a little because mine doesn't have to. It supports me. So I get to show up as the dad, the husband, the friend, the boss I actually want to be. I want to make this point again because somewhere in life and in the digital age, we lost ourselves to tasks and screens. You are not a robot. So don't do robot things, the repetitive things, the hard things. Let AI do it so you can do the human things, so you can love yourself and others, so you can relate and be present in life, so you can inspire those around you and grow as a better human being in this world. The real AI advantage isn't speed, it's presence. The real AI advantage is love. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, AI Advantage. I love you guys.
Hey. This is so good. So good. Give it up for Lior, everyone.
We light it up. We don't slow. Bring it back. Bring it. We make that rouge.
So good. Listen, I know, I told you, you see why we did all the work coming into this. Who was excited about what Lior shared and also a little overwhelmed at the same time? Right? Raise your hand if you're being honest or say yes in the chat. Isn't that the journey we're on, though? Listen, our goal is to show you as much as we can. We only have a couple of days with you, 3 hours a day, right? To show you what's possible, to show you where it's going. I wrote down, I want you to see what's possible, plus get takeaways. And then, of course, Tony and I work our tails off to show you how, to give you the opportunity. Listen, Lior's AI clone knows his family's favorite meals. He knows their favorite stories. But I've watched this man launch 3 businesses in the last 6 months, all using AI to go faster. And that's not just productivity, that's a better life. And remember what he said, AI can't tuck your kids in. Maybe he said this to me in the back, but it can free you up the time so you could do it. That is the AI advantage. And I think, did you see why I loved having the AI surfer and Lior back to back, showing you this evolution and what's possible? Because this is, raise your hand if you know we got to create a new identity. We not only have to build it, we have to make it so we think through that lens. And yesterday we talked about every major technology shift, right? Electricity, the internet, all of it created that dividing line, right? That feeling that so many of us are feeling right now. Those that moved first had the opportunity to thrive. Those that waited sometimes vanished. AI is that shift right now. I don't have to convince you of that anymore. And we know it's moving faster than all of them. And look, Tony and I might not know your business or your career, We definitely do not know it better than you. You know your customers, you know your product, you know your craft, you know your goals, you know the company you want to start, you know your aspirations. But what we do know, after decades of doing this, is that time and leverage are the biggest needle movers in any business or any career. And we know that AI is the fastest way to unlock both. And here's the good news. The window is still open, but it's closing fast. Time is shrinking. You're still ahead of mass adoption, which is awesome. But to be honest with you, 6 months ago, you had a comfortable lead. Today, the lead is just shrinking. So I don't want you to feel you've missed it. You're right on time. And the people learning it now, you're just going to compound your AI advantage every week. And you don't have to jump from level 1 to level 3 overnight. In fact, you have to go through the process. You just don't want to be the one standing on the sidelines waiting to see how it goes. It's time for you to reclaim that creative focus so you can grow, not grind. It's time to multiply your outputs and your outcomes. To do in hours what used to take weeks. It's time you had the ultimate unfair advantage, no matter your field or your starting point. So yesterday I asked, who in here would love to clone themselves, right? Almost every hand went up. But put your hand up or say yes in the chat if you'd like to have that clone. And here's the cool part. By now, I think you're seeing that you actually can, not in some sci-fi fantasy way, but with a real AI partner that knows how you think, knows how you work, knows the ways you work, and actually gets better every single day because it actually closes some of the gaps you have. A clone that can start working alongside of you and then for you. One that handles the repetitive, the draining, so you could focus on the 10%, like the AI surfer said, or focus on the things through love, like Lior said. So let me just ask you this. What would you do if we could wave that magic wand? This happens, you put it in play, you have the process, and you get 15 hours a week back. I know you already shared this with Lior, but I want to anchor it in here, and I want to have you do this. If you could pull this slide up. What would you do with that 15 hours? Let everybody else see. Would you finally launch the business? I want to know, who's ready to launch a business? Would it help you do that? The one you've been putting off for too long. Would you scale your existing business with less stress? If that's you, put scale in the chat so other people can see it. If you want, you could put launch or scale, or would you unlock your creativity and innovation? Would you look for opportunities? Look for ways to let the inside out. Stop playing small, right? Or maybe, would you use it for more personal stuff you haven't had time for? Maybe health, relationships, love, family, reflection. I think it's so important because time is so personal. I love, time is money and time is also love, but it's so personal. And that's why we focus through the lens of time, because then you get to use it for where you know you want to be. Listen, this morning, we took the time on the whiteboard to write down your goals. Reflect on those for a minute. Imagine having those 15 hours a week to fuel those goals. And what's cool is that's not just a dream. It's really what's possible right now. It's the reason Tony and I are doing this. It's the reason we love this so much and the impact. It's the reason I stayed up almost all night reading all your comments, because this is truly here. Not some pie in the sky, get rich to do nothing. No, to get real time back and not do it in a confusing way. Listen, and I know for a fact, you could try to piece this all together yourself, the right sequences, the right teachers, the right timing, maybe even taking the next year to figure it out. But that's another full-time job. And honestly, you don't have a year. It's moving so fast. And you don't need another job. What you need is results. And the good news is, we did the heavy lifting for you. Listen, through our interviews, we saw the patterns of AI success that most people can't figure out on their own. You saw that from the billionaires and the founders to the stay-at-home solopreneurs. Every single one of them had this same clone that amplified their success, to get it to work alongside them and then to get it to work for them. And it wasn't just saving the time. It was actually doing their work better than doing it alone. Better than the old way, at a fraction of the cost. And once Tony and I and Igor saw this pattern, we knew that's exactly what we had to build for you. So we went to work. We took Tony and I's decades of understanding what drives human behavior, drives human success. You've been seeing that. You saw that with Tony yesterday. You'll see it again tomorrow in all the pieces that we do. We took that mindset, that strategy, those patterns, and then we combined it with Igor's ability to take complex AI strategies and boil it down to one path to go deeper so you know what platform, how to use it, and how to make this real. So together we obsessed and created a brand new system to help you build your own AI clone and then train it to work for you like everybody you saw here today. And because we know time is of the essence, it's not 6 months. It's not 60 days. It's in just 6 weeks. And it's a system that allows regular people, regardless of your age, location, your experience, to have long-term success with AI. Listen, like I said, there's only so much we could share with you in 3 days, 3 hours a day. So on behalf of Tony, Igor, and myself, I am so freaking excited to share with you what we've created. We created the AI Advantage Bootcamp, the new version. This is exactly what we did 6 months ago, but we took it to 6 weeks. It's a 6-week interactive experience to build your customized AI clone system and put it to work to buy back 15 hours a week, guaranteed. And here's our big promise. Together, we'll build a system that gives you a true AI advantage. You saw a lot of what's possible. This is actually how to do it without all the craziness, without searching online. And it's not a chat bot. It's not a prompt trick. If you know anything about Tony and I, it's not an overhyped AI gimmick. Not another tool that'll be replaced in a week. A personal AI clone system that knows you, works like you, and works for you. A system that'll help you work smarter by offloading what drains you and expand your creativity. To decide clear when it knows you, that's a next level thinking, next level strategy, feedback, and confidence. You get to launch faster and turn ideas into polished products, content, offer, etc. Grow bigger and scale your idea, your business, your income without adding team members. And I like the last one the most. Live freer, with more time for family, health, and the things that bring you happiness. Because we know the difference between just using AI, and we want all of you to use it, and having a customized AI clone system. Well, it's the difference between riding a bike and flying a jet. Both will move you there. One just gets you there a lot faster. Your AI clone system becomes your ultimate success amplifier. Listen, and we know this, there's not a shortage of AI courses out there. They're all over the place. There's thousands of them. But knowing AI and knowing how to teach it so people actually get results are two very different things. That's probably why so many people are still overwhelmed. So many people quit. We take a different approach. Those that know Tony and I, those of you that knew, we have access to the right people. We know how to extract patterns, and then we know how to teach it in a way that creates energy, creates momentum, and actually gets you results. And the proof is from our last boot camp. We had thousands of students built their clone system and hit 15 hours a week saved. Highest graduating rate and the happiest clients of any program Tony and I have ever created together. On average, students' AI confidence doubled in less than 30 days. 99% reported having massive AI breakthroughs. Thousands of comments. And the truth is, we are officially at a tipping point. I think this is probably the last moment to be early. AI adoption is exploding. Each week, you wait, someone else is getting a compounding edge. This is the way the flow always goes with new technology, and you could see where we're at. Listen, we said that in November, and it was true then. 6 months later, it's just a little more urgent. So ask yourself, how many thousands of dollars a month, a week are you losing by not leveraging AI? How many hours are you missing with family, exercise, starting or growing a business because you aren't effectively using it? You don't have a year. Maybe not even 6 months. That's the cool part and why we're so excited. And I shared this yesterday, God, it seems like 3 days ago. But we have a bold goal, and it's to save this community, you ready for this? 4 million hours this year. I mean, think about that. This is the movement you have the opportunity to join. That's what happens when thousands of you each buy back 15 hours a week. Imagine that ripple effect. More thriving families, stronger businesses, entrepreneurs doing what they love again. That's our big goal. It's what drives Tony and I. And that's why I'm so excited to share with you everything we're going to do together over the next 6 weeks. The AI Advantage Bootcamp is a virtual live experience with 6 interactive workshops led by Igor and myself, where we'll build you an AI clone, then over time train it, optimize it, and put it to work until it's thinking like you, and working for you. Now, this has evolved since last year because so much has changed. So I wanted to take just a few minutes and tell you so you could see the natural progression of the 6 workshops. First workshop, Clone Builder. This year, we build it in the first session. Before this workshop is over, you'll have a working AI clone built on your goals, your values, and your story. Not a generic AI, a custom thought partner that already knows more about you than most people you work to. Confidence up, built. Workshop number 2, remember the 4 A's from yesterday? The first one was activate. This is where you already, by week 2, you'll start getting time back. All the things that Lior shared, and everyone's like, how? That's in day 2, or in session 2. You'll learn how to put it in play. This is where you start implementing it into your daily routine and schedule. Plus, you'll learn Igor's prompting system. Oh my God, it's so good that you'll use for the rest of your life. You'll start buying back time and making faster decisions in week 2. Then week 3, if you remember, accelerate. This is where you train your clone in your voice. Listen, knowing you is one thing, perfect, foundation, but sounding like you is the next level. This week, you feed your clone your best writing, you teach it your tone, your patterns, even share your weaknesses so it can fill in any of those gaps. By the end of this session, everything you create will sound like you wrote it. And the truth is, for me personally, sometimes better. Number 4 is augment. This is where it starts to create alongside of you. So if you think you build it, it gets to know you, it gets to think like you, and now it starts to work alongside of you. This is where you and your clone become a real team, a partner you can work with on your career, your business, or the one you want to start. One idea becomes 10 outputs, all in your voice. This is where true leverage begins. And then the 5th workshop is automate. This is so exciting because this wasn't possible last time. This is where you trust your clone to work without you. This is where Lior was talking. It does it. You wake up in the morning. Your clone is ready to do real work. Now we evolve your clone into an AI agent. Now I know that sounds fancy words, but it's not when you're following this progress, which is like a trusted team member you can hand real work to, whether it's research, repetitive tasks, projects you've been putting off. It delivers results in minutes that used to take all day, even when you're sleeping. We are so excited that we could take you here and it not be complex. And then the 6th workshop is scale. If we take you through the journey of knowing you, speaking like you, working alongside you, and working for you, then we have to make sure you have the habit of using it on a regular basis. So now that you have a trusted AI agent working for you, giving you the time to work on the things only you can, now we show you how to leverage it on a regular basis and put it into your life. This is where time and leverage really compounds. So to break it down, this is our new AI Advantage Bootcamp. You get the clone builder, then you activate it, start getting time back, you accelerate, train it in your voice, augment, automate, and scale. We start our kickoff on Friday, and the first workshop is next week. Now, throughout this journey, you're going to get all the resources, playbooks, and replays. Some people say, what if I can't make it live? It's in your personal library. You get plug-and-play templates, you get all the tools, you get the prompts. Everything you need is in one centralized location. And of course, you get the weekly accountability and resources and our incredible team standing by. Now, if you know anything about Tony and I, we do these events once a year. And we make them super special because we want everybody in this class so they're not left behind. So to make this offer irresistible, we added 2 really cool bonuses. In fact, I think there's a 3rd one they just added. I'll surprise you with that one. Number 1 is you get 3 months to the AI Advantage Club. What is that? The AI Advantage Club is kind of like the gym membership. The workshop is the immersion. This is the ongoing with monthly trainers like Lior and Igor and the AI Surfer and Zach and Molly. They train every month. Plus you have access to fresh tools and resources and reviews. And plus you're in a kick-ass community with other like-minded people. We're going to give you 3 months of that. And this next bonus is really cool. This one goes live on week 5 of the workshop because that's when it's ready. This is Tony Robbins' Leverage Playbook. This is 25 tasks your agent can handle each month. Listen, I'm going to read this because it's so powerful. Tony spent 50 years mastering the art of leverage and knowing exactly what to hand off so he could do what matters. It's the only way he could do so much. Now he's applied the same thing to AI and he's given you his 25 ready-to-use tasks across marketing, across operations, and even in his personal life. That'll unlock on week 5 because that's when you can hand it off to your agent. And then this one is pretty cool. Molly came to us this morning. She said, I stayed up most of the night. I read so many comments. People wanted what we were doing. So this woman last night spent most of the night building a course on everything she taught with every prompt, every image, every video, all the songs, everything she does. Plus she decided, she said, can I go live for everybody who says yes to this boot camp? The AI Advantage Boot Camp. She's going to go live in June to teach us on a deeper level. Can we give it up for Molly for offering that? Listen, if we told you it would take 6 months and cost $3,000 to build this together, I promise you it would still be an incredible offer. But we know you need this now. So we built a system where your clone is fully trained, fully optimized, and evolves to your agent working for you to buy back time, real time, in just 6 weeks. No extra hires, no confusion, no wasted months, no hidden fees, nothing. Designed to meet you exactly where you are. And unlike many of the offers that are out there, you're not paying for more information. That's the last thing you need. You're buying results, speed, clarity, and a system that pays you back the first week. So let me recap everything you get in the AI Advantage Bootcamp, right? You get the 6 trainings, you get the resources, you get 3 months in the AI Advantage Club, you get Tony's Leverage Playbook, you get Molly's bonus. And here's what I'll tell you. At $3,000, I said this would be an amazing deal. To stop with all the confusion, to stop with the overwhelm, to stop trying to figure out which tool, how to go deep, what is a clone, it would be worth $3,000. But if you know anything about Tony and I, we want you in. We don't want you to look back in 6 months with regret that you missed out again. So today, during the event, it's an event-only offer, you have the opportunity to get the AI Advantage Bootcamp at $995 or just 3 payments of $380. So at $380, you'll be working with us this Friday, and the first bootcamp is next week. Go to jointhebootcamp.com. Now, let me just tell you, we could have raised the price after the results we saw for the last boot camp. I just got to say, after the highest graduation class in our 30 years history, plus now we're taking this all the way to agents and the team around it to support you. But that's not who we are. With all the data we had, we actually made it better and took it even further and kept the price exactly the same. We're here because we believe this needs to reach as many people as possible, because if we all start saving time, we all get to collectively change the world. And this is the part that blew people away last year. Our guarantee is something no one would ever offer. Show up and do the work. And if you don't reclaim at least 15 hours a week to enhance your life and your business, we'll refund 100% of your investment. No questions asked. It's that simple. No risk, no excuses, just results. And that guarantee isn't something we just say. We watched it. We had the same guarantee last year and barely anyone took it because they got the results and this system worked. So here's the question. If not now, when? This truly is the tractor moment. This is your electricity moment. This is your true AI advantage. So let's build this clone system together. Because here's what happens when you say yes. You're buying time at a discount. You're investing to be ahead of the mass adoption rather than being left in confusion. You're paying to reduce the time, the complexity it takes to learn new technology and not try to find it all over the place. 2 guys that have been helping people learn complicated things for 77 years. And the truth is, you could wait, and many people will, and that's okay. Or you could make a decision today, right now, to get ahead while this window is open, because a year from now, when everyone's scrambling to catch up, you'll already have your AI clone and your agent working for you. And remember, this training starts this Friday. You get 6 weekly workshops. Right? Again, that's the whole rundown of the entire package of what we created. So this is, I already see people are joining in. So here's what I tell you. If you're in, put I'm in the chat. And here's what I tell you. First off, welcome to the AI Advantage family. And I got to tell you, before I continue, appreciate it. Look at all the I'm in. You got to understand, we just spent 6 months learning something we've never done. A year, and then the last 6 months learning from everybody. And then we bring in so many team members. If you feel my energy right now, it's because I'm so freaking excited for you. I want to explain this in a way where you see it. If you were in last boot camp, put it in the chat and let everybody know what the last one was like. And we took it to a whole nother level. So if you feel my energy, it's because I'm so excited. I don't want to mess one thing up because I want you to say yes. I want to welcome you to the family and see what's possible. And here's what I want to do. I want to make sure, because some of you are in, I see all the I'm in, and some of you feel it in your gut, but your brain's asking questions. That's totally normal. In fact, it's what every successful person does and what they feel right before they make a bold move. So before we bring on our next guest, which I'm so excited for, we usually take an enrollment break right now to give you time to register and go all in. But this time, I'm just going to hang out with you, if that's cool with you. I want to take a few minutes and answer your top questions, because in my, excitement, if I miss something, if I went over something too quick and you're confused and you don't get in, that's on me, and I hate that. So if my team could put the questions down here, that would be amazing. So it's like we're taking an enrollment break, but I'm just going to hang out with you, and the link will stay up below. And cool, I love the timer. That's how many hours this group will collectively save. That number, we're going to try to beat 4 million by the time we're done. And for those of you ready, at any time you could jump in. So let me go through the questions that the team came up with. Okay, number one. And if you got any more, don't hesitate to ask the team. They'll put it in the monitor. So Bethany said, why is this clone different than just using ChatGPT? Cool, Bethany. Okay, why this is different? Listen, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, they're all great. They're like brilliant strangers. Your clone is a trained partner. So over those 6 weeks, you build it, you train it, you teach it how you think and work until it knows your business, your voice, like the AI surfer used to build his business. And those answers become specific to your life, to your brand, to your situation. And even better than that, it'll know your gaps. It'll know your weaknesses, so it'll be able to grab collective wisdom to fill those gaps. It's what it does for me every single day. It's like the difference between talking to a stranger and talking to a partner that knows everything about you. That's the difference. I hope that answered. All right, next. Okay. Brian asked, where is a clone actually built? Do I need to buy a specific software? That is such a great question. See, that's so good, Brian. I should have covered that. I love how simple this answer is. We're going to build your clone together inside Claude. And here's why. That's the tool everybody should be using anyway. Chat, look, I see you, Mark, right? We love chat, and if you're on chat, great. But Claude is moving so fast, and it's doing so well and so simple. We're going to build it on Claude. No specific software needed, no expensive apps from us, no hidden fees from us, nothing. And again, we use Claude because it's the rising star. And also, it's easier to evolve your clone into an agent on Claude. And that's the evolution we'll be taking on you. And here's one more thing I want to say, and I missed this. Once you build it, it's 100% yours. You own it. You can copy your clone's DNA and then put it into any platform you want. You could put it into ChatGPT. You could put it in Gemini. You could put it in Grok. Whatever comes next. It's portable, it's flexible, and it's not locked behind any wall. It's yours. Think of it this way. We're not selling you a tool. We're teaching you a skill and building you a system that works anywhere and forever. Okay, number 3, Deborah. Deborah said, who is actually coaching us through the 6-week boot camp? That's really easy. This was designed with the framework of Tony, myself, and Igor collectively with all these years of experience to get people to get results. But you're going to be taught by mostly Igor. And you're going to see more of him today. You're going to see more of him tomorrow. He is so good. You're going to fall in love with him. And you got to remember, this is a guy that he's been teaching since 2022. But he's whittled it down to what's really needed, especially serving the thousands of people we did to the last boot camp. You're going to fall in love with this guy. He's so good because he's got the experience. Plus, you're going to be a part of the AI Advantage Club. That's our community where it features experts, including like Lior and Molly and AI Surfer and all the rest, speakers keeping you on track. So I hope that answered that. Number 4, Elizabeth asked, I'm not techie. I'm overwhelmed by all the tools. Can I really do this? Elizabeth, aren't we all? Raise your hand if you feel like it's a little overwhelming, right? Or say yes. That is You don't need to be a coder or chase every new app. You know, Tony said something the other day. It's like when people think of AI, it's like driving a car. You don't have to learn the engine or how a combustion engine works. You just start it. And we want to give you that path and plan so you're just utilizing it. In 6 weeks from now, life will never be the same. And 95% of the value really comes from one core model and a simple methodology to go deep. And we whittled it down to the single most effective and efficient way to use AI, which is building a clone that evolves into your agent to work for you. Not trying to oversimplify it, just saying it like it is. Okay, next one was Kevin. What if I don't have enough time to do this? We kind of hit that one yesterday, but isn't that the irony of it all? The very reason you think you don't have time is exactly why you must do this. This program is designed and guaranteed to give you 15 hours a week. If you don't do this, what else will buy it back? I know for me, so many times you're trying, and it just doesn't go there. If you say no because of time, locking yourself into the very problem, like literally, if you say no, then what is going to solve that problem? And I would just think through that lens. We've never had something so powerful, so inexpensive to buy back that time and leverage. I see we're at 308,000 hours saved. Guys, this, you gotta understand, like I said, 6 months of putting everything together with Igor, Tony, the team of 130 people. I'm so stoked for those of you who say yes. Remember, join thebootcamp.com. We're not gonna take any enrollment break. I'm just hanging out with you. I'll answer a few more questions and then we'll get to our next guest. And when you do, I see it going up, make sure you say I'm in. All right, next, Trina asked, what if I get stuck or fall behind? A lot of people ask that, but that's an easy one. This program meets you where you are. You'll have recordings. You'll have the templates. You'll have a community. You have our support staff. This, I want to say this is not a magic wand. You have to show up and do the work. But it takes no more than 3 hours a week. We wanted to maximize it at 3 hours a week to get everything you want to get that time back. And remember, your clone gets built in the very first session. So even if you get busy, you're never starting from zero. You're starting from a clone that's already buying you time back by week 2. Okay, I'll take a few more. If you want to put a couple more in the chat, hopefully I'm answering these questions right. Jaden asked, what if I don't have the money right now? Listen, and here, I want you to hear me on this, Jaden. If this will take money off the table or put you at risk of paying bills this week, then I hope this event, these 3 days, there's a lot for you to learn. And when the time is right, you'll be here. And I understand that. I've been there. But think about it. If you save 15 hours a week, that's 780 hours a year. You know, I did this little math. That even at $20 an hour, that's $15,000 in value that you could put someplace else. And for $995, you're literally buying time at a discount. Now, I know I'm stressing on time, and we have a time save counter because time is the most powerful thing in the world for you to plug in what makes sense for you, to live in the best version of you. This could be the least expensive and highest return investment that you make all year. Just a couple more. Francisco asked, what if this won't work for my business or my career? That's a big one. Listen, time and leverage aren't industry specific. They're universal. Whether you're in law, healthcare, real estate, SaaS, coaching, or corporate, buying back 15 hours a week and having a super smart partner help you leverage that time works no matter what field you're in. We had people from so many different industries in November. We had lawyers and realtors and investors and teachers, nurses, corporate executives, stay-at-home parents starting a side business. And it worked across the board because it adapted into your life. And then it showed you how to amplify. Okay, I'm gonna take two more and that's it. Then we're gonna get to our next guest. Patricia said, or Patrice, I'm sorry, said, it sounds too good to be true. I get it. And I'm gonna say it again. We're not promising a magic wand where you show up, do nothing, and everything changes. It's one step at a time. It's over 6 weeks. You build a working clone system that allows you to amplify everything. It's not theory, it's practical, it's proven, and we guarantee it. And now we have thousands of people that have gone through it and show what's possible. It's not a promise anymore. It's literally a track record. And then one more. New trending question. A lot of people asking, when does it start? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a new trending question. this Friday, the next Friday coming up, May 1st, we're going to have a kickoff celebration, welcome, and then the following week it starts. That's why, and if you know anything about it, once we start this cohort, we close it. The last event was closed. This will close. This is an event-only offer, so I hope I answered that one. And then I'll take one more. There was one more from Carolina. Carolina asked, why can't I wait until later? Well, I guess I just did that, because first off, technology is happening too quick. The longer you wait, it's not going to get easier. It's going to compound. We'd rather help build that fluency, build that confidence right now, build that clone, because the truth is that clone can help you with whatever comes next, because it'll know more about it than you. And like I said, plus this is an event-only offer. The first session starts next week. Okay, I'll just say this. The people who joined last November are 6 months into this. And I'm betting many of them will join again because of the updates and the community and the connection. And now we're going all the way to agents. Anybody who joins is going to have a massive head start on everyone else. 6 months from now, 6 weeks from now, the people who join today are going to have the same advantages people had 6 months ago. But you got to start. Guys, thank you for that. This is the most exciting part for me, because I know those that say yes have the opportunity to cut all the noise and be on a path to your next level. Thank you, Maddie. I see everybody. And if you're in, put I'm in. But all right, so far today, you've seen that a thought partner can take you to the next level. You've seen how it can evolve into an agent you trust to do work for you. It shows up in real life. And hopefully, you're truly seeing what's possible. But now I want to step back for a moment, because there's a question underneath all of it that nobody's asking. And it might be the most important question of them all. Why? Why get back more time? Why create leverage? What's it actually all for? Will it actually make me better, or maybe even more important, happier? Our next guest has the answer, and he's got the science to back it up. Dr. Arthur Brooks is a Harvard professor, a best-selling author, and one of the leading experts on what actually makes people happy. Not what we think makes us happy. Not what we think makes us happy, I should say. What research proves makes us happy. He was with us in November, and honestly, he was one of the most talked about guests that we had of the entire event. People didn't expect a happiness scientist at an AI summit, and then connected the dots in a way that nobody saw coming. He's back to go even deeper, because what you're building with AI might actually be the key to living a happier life. Let's play this quick video, and then we'll give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. I can't wait to discuss leadership and my favorite topic, happiness.
Oprah collaborated with Arthur C. Brooks, a Harvard professor who studies and teaches the science of happiness.
We talked about the conceptualization of happiness. How do you ground that in your classes? Right. And what have you observed as the effect?
People often say, because I teach happiness, they'll say, I want to be happy, but something has to change. My finances have to get better. My health has to get better. My relationship has to get better. The world has to change outside. But they understand, you can't change the outside world very much, but you can change inside you if you do the work and you know how to do it. That's what I do for a living, is write, speak, and teach about the science of happiness.
Happiness is not a feeling. That's good news, because if you're just waiting for a feeling, then it's really not in your control, and you might be happy and you might not. And the good news is it's not a feeling, and so there's something you can do about it.
Negative experiences are how you learn and grow. You don't want to be happy. You can't be happy, but you can be is happier. That's the goal, is to be happier next year than it is this year. To make people happier than they were before. That's how you build a better world.
Can we give a huge welcome to Dr. Arthur Brooks?
Hey, man. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Dave. Hey, everybody. Great to see you. I have been looking so forward to meeting all of you who are improving your lives using AI, getting together, forming a community, thinking about your future. I'm really honored to be with you here today. You saw a little bit about my background here. I've known Dean for a little while. What a delight it is to actually be working with him because he's dedicated to lifting people up, to giving people solutions, to help people see their lives as a startup, because that, in point of fact, is the truth. Every single one of you is a startup entrepreneur in the business of your life. You're the founder. It's your enterprise. You got to treat it as such. And how do I know that you believe that? Because you're here. I want to talk to you about not just your business and not just how you're using your AI to make your life a little bit easier. I want to talk to you about your life itself and how what you're doing in these 3 days with Dean and all of the other guests, how it actually interacts with what you're trying to do with your happiness. And I want to start by presenting you with a little bit of a mystery. That's this. You know, I just saw these data, these statistics. 3/4 of Americans are actually using AI tools, and you already know that most of them are not using them very well. Kind of a glorified search engine and all this type of thing. But the point is that this has been widely adopted, all this AI stuff. But here's the interesting thing. Most people aren't comfortable with it because they don't know if it's good for them or bad for them. So let's just talk openly about that. Here's some data. They just came out from a very big research organization in Washington, D.C. These are the best data available. 10% of people are more excited than concerned about AI. Amazing, something that 73% of people are doing. 50% are more concerned than excited. And here's the real question. What is this AI thing that we're talking about here? Is it like social media? Most of us are on social media, but guess what? Almost all of us know that it's not good for us. Social media isn't good for us. Is it like fast food? Most people eat it, but most people say, yeah, I don't think it's so great for me. Or is it maybe just that we're in the period of adoption of AI where we don't know really how it works very well? Maybe it's just the uncertainty that's scaring us. Here's the point. It's coming. You're going to see it. You're going to harness it, but you might be concerned about the effect it's going to have on your kids' jobs, maybe how it's going to change our culture and society, and you're concerned, if you're like most people in America, about what it's going to do to your quality of life, to your happiness. And that's really what I want to talk about with you here today. How can you be in charge not just of your future prosperity decision using artificial intelligence? How can you be in charge of your happiness decision doing that? Now, that's what I do for a living. You saw the wind up to this, the dean showed you. I'm a professor of the science of happiness at Harvard University. All day long, I am teaching some of the best students in the world how they can treat their happiness like something under their control. But the point is, you need to have information, you need to make sure that you tailor your habits, and you need to share this with other people. So let's talk about AI and your happiness and your family's happiness as well, starting with what we know and what we don't. Now, I'm going to sum up a little bit what you've learned over the past day and a half, really in 3 points. AI is coming, man, whether you're ready or not. It's coming. Now, that's good for you because you're here. You're saying, yeah, AI is coming and I want to be a good part of my life. I don't want to be a scary or bad part of my life. AI will affect your work in your life, which is why you're taking it by the hand and you're going to be managing it so it doesn't manage you. Good for you. And point number 3 is that AI can improve your efficiency. That's the how-to that you're learning over these 3 days. And when you're part of what this whole program is about, you're going to have that how-to in hand, and it's going to be working for you. This we know. But there's some questions, 2 big questions. Will it truly improve your efficiency? Now, you already know that it can, but that depends on you. You got to learn about it. You got to get expertise in it. Good. Will it raise or lower your happiness? That depends on you too. Many people think about happiness and they think about it as something beyond your control. The truth of the matter is that most of your happiness depends on your habits. It depends on your mindset. It depends on how you're living your life. And that is absolutely the case with artificial intelligence. But to make it part of your happiness as opposed to doing something that lowers your well-being and your quality of life, you need a little bit of science on your side. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to blow your minds with a little bit of science about how your brain works when you're using artificial intelligence. Okay, now, this is not a science class, but you need this science to be properly informed in the modern economy and in the modern scientific world. What I want to talk to you about is something called, it's going to sound real fancy, I promise it's not going to hurt, called hemispheric lateralization. That's just a very fancy way of saying this. Your brain has two hemispheres, has two sides, and those two sides do two very, very different things. This is important for you to understand, and you'll see why in a second. Now, the left side of your brain is dedicated to the analysis and efficiency, the how-to and what questions. You're using it all day long. How do I get down to this new place I've never been before? I'm going to turn on my GPS and follow the directions. That's the left side of your brain. How do I solve this math problem if I'm a student in school? That's it. How do I actually do something amazing and creative with my programming abilities if I actually write software? Maybe I want to write a piece of software that helps me find a pizza at 10 p.m. That's the left side of your brain. All the how-to and what and analysis and efficiency questions in your life, that's your left hemisphere. Those are called complicated problems. Once you figure it out with enough brain power and computational horsepower and AI and everything you bring to it, it's solved, and it's solved forever. That's how you get more successful in your business. Okay, but that's the only one kind of problem. The other kind of problem is in the right hemisphere of your brain. That's a complex problem. Not the same thing. Complex problems are actually really, really easy to understand, but they're impossible to solve. You just have to live with complex problems. Now, you're surrounded by complex problems all day long. The problems of love, of relationships, of happiness, of the meaning of your life. Those are complex problems. Nobody can actually give you a one-and-done solution, which is why they're different than writing a piece of software. Let me give you an example of a complex problem. My marriage is a very complex problem. My friends, I've been married for 35 years. I got 3 adult kids. I got 4 grandsons. It's going great. 35 years with my wife, Esther, my soulmate, the love of my life. But it is a very complex situation that we're in. Want to know why? Right before I came out here, we're recording this in Arizona. It's so beautiful and sunny, and I went outside to get a little bit of sunshine, and I called Esther and I said, honey, it's going to be so great. I'm here at the AI Summit. Love it. And she said, well, good luck. I mean, I love you. I know you'll do a great job. And afterward, when I'm done with this, I'm going to call her back. Maybe she'll be mad at me. I don't know, because that's a complex problem. I can't predict that. And a lot of you are married. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. That's not a problem. That's why I love my marriage, because it's not predictable. Okay, now here's the thing. All the things that you're doing to make a living are complicated, and that's great. But all the things you care about for your happiness are complex problems on the right side of the brain. What is AI? AI is a left brain device. It actually makes you better at solving left brain problems. It's an ideal thought partner for complicated tasks, and it's a terrible thought partner for complex problems. Let me give you more of an idea what happens when you get this wrong. Okay, now, some people like to get a pet. They like to get a cat. Now, some of you don't like cats. Some of you are dog people, and some of you are cat people. But let's just say that you want to get a cat. Why would you want to get a cat? It's a very inefficient thing. It doesn't do much for you. It's not going to bring you the newspaper or cook you dinner. It's not going to make you a bunch of money. No, it's actually going to take up resources. You're going to have to clean the litter box. The reason you want the cat is because the cat is alive. It's a living thing. The cat is a complex creature. Now, say I came to you and I said, that cat is pretty inefficient. That cat is going to take up resources and time, and it's maybe going to scratch the couch. I got a better thing for you. I created a mechanical cat. Don't you want to love that instead? And you say, no, I don't want that. I don't want a mechanical cat. I say, why don't you want a mechanical cat? You say, I don't know, but it's not the same. Here's why you don't want the mechanical cat, friends, because the mechanical cat is a complicated solution, and the desire for the real cat is a complex problem. It's different parts of the brain. Let me make it even more visual for you. If we go back to about 2009, 2010, that's when social media was being created. Facebook was being created. You know what the founders of social media organizations, you know what they promised? You know what they literally promised us? That it would wipe out loneliness. Now, you know what happened, don't you? We all can tell you what happened. You spend all day on social media, you scroll away a few hours. By yourself, how do you feel? Lonely. What's up with that? Here's why. Here's why, my friends. Loneliness is a complex human problem. Social media is a complicated computer algorithm. When you take a complex need and you meet it with a complicated tool, you make the problem worse. Now, here's what I'm driving at, my friends. AI can make you happier, but it can make you unhappier. It all depends on how you use it. Are you going to use it on the left side of your brain or the right side of your brain? Don't worry. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Don't worry. I promise you, I can tell you how to get this right, but I also have to tell you how to not make this mistake. Bottom line, if you look for love and happiness and meaning in any tech, including artificial intelligence, you will wind up living a simulated, fake, lonely, and depressing life. And you don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that either. Now, it's funny because when I talk to my students are in their 20s. I teach graduate students at the Harvard Business School. They're 28 years old, and they have the same lives as my adult kids, as a matter of fact. And they say that when they spend a whole lot of time zoop, 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 and going into AI, asking every kind of question about their own personal lives, that they feel like their life becomes like the Matrix. Remember that old movie, The Matrix, where everything was simulated? That was far out science fiction in the old days, my friends. That was when there was this big artificial intelligence out there that was keeping people in a simulation to take their energy. It became real life. That's a problem, isn't it? But that's exactly what we see. If you use the technology wrong, you're going to wind up in a bad space in your life. If you use it right, which is what I'm going to tell you right now, it can make you a lot happier. So now we got to get the solutions, and that's what I want to tell you. Lesson 1, you need to know your brain. Everybody needs to know their own brain. Look, it's under your management, or you're the startup, and the brain is the engine of your startup. You better know it. AI is an assistant only to the left hemisphere for answering the how to and what questions of your life, not the right hemisphere, which is about the why questions of your life. Use it for what do I do? How do I do it? How do I become more efficient? How do I save time? Don't use it for why questions in your life. That requires in real life thinking. And by the way, why don't you ask more why questions in your life? Get off social media, stop scrolling, and think about a couple of big ones. Here are 2 big ones. Maybe you should ask, and this is what I tell my students, why am I alive? Why am I alive? Like, who created me and for what purpose? And for what would I give my life? Those are big questions, right? Now, I know most of you have kids like me. You'd get it for your kids. What else? What else? When I present young people with those why questions, they start having a change in life that they can't describe. Their life starts to deepen. It gets better. You can't Google these questions, my friends. You can't put it into ChatGPT or Gemini. Can't be done. Look, the people I'm closest to ask these questions in the right way. I asked my son. I have a son named Carlos. He's 55. What am I saying? That's almost me. He's 25 years old. And when he was 18, he was lost in the phone, using the technology in all the wrong ways. And I said, son, you need to find the answers to the why questions in your life. Why am I alive? And why would I give my life? And he did. He went looking for it. He went and worked on a farm in Idaho. And instead of going to college, he joined the Marine Corps. And he risked his life as a sniper in the Marine Corps. And after 4 years of thinking without his phone, you know what his answers are? Why would you give your life? He told me. By the way, he came out at 23, married with a son. Now he's 25, has 2 sons. His life is going on. He says, I am alive because God created me to serve others. Why would you give your life? He said, that's an easy one, Dad. I wrote a contract with the Marine Corps to answer those questions. I would give my life for my faith and my family and for my fellow Marines and for the United States of America. And for those of you outside the United States, he would give his life for our allies as well. Why do I tell you that? Because he didn't get that from AI. And he can't get that from AI, and neither can you. Use and know your brain. Use the AI for the left hemisphere questions.
not the right hemisphere questions. AI, well, that actually next takes us to lesson 2, which is knowing your heart. What do you want? You're like, I know what you want. Same thing that I want. You know what we all want? I want to love. I want to love others, and I want to be loved. Happiness is love. I can take my whole PhD and boil it down to 3 words. Happiness is love. You got to know your heart. And here's the funny thing about tech. I study tech a lot. Anything that substitutes for real human relationships, it's going to make you less happy. Anything that puts space between you and other people, it's going to make you less happy. But anything that complements your relationships, that brings you closer with other people, will make you happier. And this is how to use AI. AI is not your buddy. It's not your girlfriend or boyfriend. It is certainly not your therapist. And by the way, it's so good for kind of simulating those things that people get fooled by it, but you'll never fool the right hemisphere of your brain. You can't do it, which is why when people spend so much time in conversation and personal conversation with these tools, they feel lonelier and lonelier. It looks good, but your brain knows the difference. No, what do you do with it? You buy time with AI. You buy time by setting it on the task that it can do better than the left hemisphere of your brain, and then you spend that time in real life on right brain mysteries. That means you make contacts with AI. You streamline your business with AI. You have a thought partner in AI. And that frees you up to do what? To go love people in real life, to go spend time with your kids, to go away with your partner, to do the things that you want to do. That's lesson 2. And here's lesson 3. Do more with the right hemisphere of your brain. Because here's the thing. AI is going to give you so much time. It really is. Trust me. When you get it right and you really understand it, it's going to give you time back like beyond your capabilities previously. You're not going to believe how good it is for your efficiency. But don't spend that extra time scrolling Instagram. Don't waste that time. Use that time in the right hemisphere of your brain, getting happier, having more love. And there's 4 things to do. This is really how I want to bring this thing home. Number 1, spend it loving other people. Now, this is funny because the biggest right brain experience that you can get, you know what it is? It's romantic love and friendship. Romantic love and friendship, because they're pure mysteries. They're impossible to understand. You know, by the way, you don't believe that romantic life is a right brain mystery? That's why dating apps are so frustrating for young people. It's because they're trying to take that mystery of falling in love and turn it into a mathematical, computational problem. You're trying to take the left brain to solve a right brain problem. Same thing we've been talking about here. Love is important. I prescribe falling in love to my students. They're so scared of it, you know? It's funny, I was giving a talk to a bunch of my students, you know, in their 20s, and I said, go be an entrepreneur, confess your love to somebody. And one of the guys came up and he said, you know, Professor, I'm gonna do it. I've been in love with a woman in Philadelphia for the past 2 years, and she doesn't know it. I'm going there now, and I'm going to confess my love because I'm an entrepreneur in my life. And I said, man, it was just a speech. I don't want to wreck your life. But he did it. Now, I said, please tell me how it turns out. And I didn't hear from him for a little while. But the next time I saw him, I said, what happened? What happened? You know what he said? He said, she shot me down. No. It was worse. She didn't just shoot me down. She's in love with another guy, and she introduced me to him. It was horrible. And I said, I'm so sorry. I'm really, really sorry. He says, no. I've been meaning to call you, Professor, and thank you. And I said, why? You know what he said? He said, because that's the thing I was most afraid of in my life, and it happened, and I didn't die. You get my point, right? That's what it means to live in the right hemisphere of your brain. That's the wild, wild west. That's your adventure. And that's number 1. Number 2 is worship. Worship. Many of you are religious. I'm a traditionally religious person. I'm a Catholic. Most important thing in my life. Many of you are not religious, but you have a sense of the spiritual. That's right side activity. More with the free time that you get.
Third, get out into nature because natural beauty will illuminate the meaning of your life like almost nothing else. And last but not least, this will help you understand the nature of your suffering. This will help you be fully alive and say, even that is part of my life. This, my friends, is what you can do when AI frees you up with the time that you deserve to live the life that you want. And when you do, the future is yours. Thank you so much.
So good. Thank you. Dr. Arthur Brooks, everybody. So good. I see you, Max. What's up, man? What's up, Troy? All right. Put yes in the chat. Dr. Brooks is right back there. Let him see what you thought about that. Wasn't that so good? You know, listen, like I said, this isn't your traditional AI event. We want to do all the things that lock this in. Who really loved just remembering what happiness really is? I think today, I didn't plan it this way, but I think today the theme I wrote down while I was watching Dr. Brooks, the common thread for us is if we get back time and we remember what happiness really is for each of us, we can live into who we are meant to be. That's what I got away from today. And with that gives us a purpose to fight for that time. Just learning AI for AI's sake, that's cool. Learning to go a little faster, that's cool. Learning it to launch the business, scale the business, that's even cooler. But doing it because you want time to be the best version of you, to live into your full potential, to not get to the end of your life and look back and realize you missed it, that you played small, that you were running on a treadmill the whole time. That is a purpose to go, I'm doing what it takes, I'm learning this, and I'm going to utilize it every day of my life. That is the difference. That is the purpose that is the foundation of all of it, and why I did that exercise this morning. So what a great day. I see we're heading towards 1.4 million hours saved already. And here's what I know from last time. It's real. We get that time back. So here's what we're going to do. In a minute, they're going to set up and bring out 4 or 5 chairs, and we're going to do a panel. We have your questions. We're going to do laser coaching with as many of you live. We're going to call you up on the screen. We got Molly back because she's here. We got Igor. We got we got a bunch of great guests. We got Arthur Brooks coming. We're going to do an amazing panel here, so we'll get that set up. But before, there was a lot of common questions coming in. Again, remember I told you before, I get excited, maybe a little nervous, because I want to deliver good, and I missed a few things. So I'm going to take 90 seconds. Somebody said, what is the difference? Those of you who are in VIP or a part of our, a part of our alumni, you were in our last boot camp, they said, what's the difference? The only difference is this year we take it to agent. Last year we took it to having AI work alongside of you. This year, we take it to work for you. So that's the difference. Yes, it's portable. Once it's built, it can go anywhere. And those of you who have something built in ChatGPT, Igor just told me he could show you in 3 simple steps in a few minutes to take all of that and bring it over to Claude. Then people said, why Claude? Just because it's so user-friendly. We love chat, but it's evolving to be the best place. And it's a next step to get you to do an agent. It's the easiest way to build an agent. So I hope I cleared that up. If not, we'll make sure we get those answers for you. People asked about Claude. We don't make anything from Claude. What you'll need to do it is just a $20 a month Claude account. That's it, and that's not part of us. And then at any time, you could move all that to whatever one you decide to do. Yes, you can transfer Claude. I think they were the top questions. Oh, and we do start May 1st, which is Friday. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick little break right now. Just 5 minutes, real quick, to set up the chairs in here. Don't go anywhere. Put your questions in the chat. If you haven't gotten enrolled and you want to, go join the hours and join this mission to buy back time in your life and be a part of this incredible movement, to be a part of this family and start on Friday. We'll give you just, again, 5 quick minutes. We'll set up, get your questions ready. This is my favorite part of the entire day too. So we'll be back in 5.
Tailgate party. Tailgate party. This is where we wanna be. Laugh loud.
What's going on? We're just sitting here, hanging out. Thank you for staying. Of
course.
Dr. Brooks, thank
Delighted.
you, Molly, Igor. Listen, you guys had so many great questions come in, and our team picked some. We're going to go through as many as we can to finish this day strong. I told you this is going to go a little longer than yesterday. It's going to be a little longer than tomorrow. You got to be here tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. Wait till you see the lineup. But we wanted to answer your top questions, and I figured, why not have this variety here? So this is fun for me. You guys ready to have a little fun?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with Antonella. Are these people online as well? So if we could bring up Antonella. I hope I said that right. Antonella, hey, how are you? What's going on, Antonella? How you doing today?
I'm great. So excited to be here, learning a lot from people I love. Arthur Brooks.
Well,
Hi, Antonella.
Good to have you here. So I'm going to read your question, and then we'll have a couple of us answer the question from different varieties. You said, how do I make AI draft things in my voice? How do I make AI draft things in my voice? It's helpful for developing ideas, but I generally need to rewrite everything. I'm going to go to you first on that one.
All right. It's a great question, and honestly, one of the most common ones. The key is, I said this in my presentation on day
For developing ideas, but I generally need to rewrite everything. I'm going to go to you first on that one.
All right. It's a great question, and honestly, one of the most common ones. The key is, I said this in my presentation on day one, in the context sandwich. Remember the third piece, the what good looks like? So with writing in your voice, the first question is, what is your voice? And the good news is that you use your voice all the time. Any digital thing that you ever produced is your voice, right? So go hunt that down as step one. Step two, you want to analyze it. Now, here's the thing. If you just put in like one example of a random email you wrote, it's going to do something. It's going to show you some patterns. But if you show multiple emails, all of a sudden you have your email writing pattern. Now, I want to point out one important caveat here. Your emails are going to have different patterns than your essays, than your diaries, whatever, right? So you kind of want to create a voice for that specific type of text. So maybe you have an email writing voice, and you can split it out that way. Now, there's many more things we could talk about here, and we actually, in the bootcamp, we have a dedicated workshop for this because it's so important. I'll give you a few of the highlights, though, which is like one thing is you could have a list of words you use. And secondly, you can have a list of words or signs, EM dashes, anyone, AI always overuses those. You can have a list of those that you want to include or avoid. And that way you would just build this file, which is like Antonella's voice. Hope that helps.
That's super helpful and actually common sense now that you say it.
No, but listen, Antonella, none of this is common sense. We had none of this at our fingertips, it seems like yesterday, right? And especially where this is evolving. I watch all the incredible comments that come in, and I saw somebody say, this program is a level 3 program. I'm only at level 1. It's a journey. Like Igor says so passionately, you have to go through each one of the journeys. We don't skip. When people think of things that are overwhelming, it'd be like being in 2nd grade and then someone said, next year you're going to be in 12th. And then like after 12th, it's like, hey, we're going into your graduate degree. Like that's how people think we can do AI. We have to go through the process. So sometimes you're going to get to things and go, duh. But it's new to us. Did you want to add anything to that on the voice?
Yeah, one other thing that I actually really love about that, especially when it came to the things that you don't want, is to create a prompt or maybe even a tool that you use after the first draft is written that's a content checker. So I know sometimes when we've created our voice ahead of time or the multiple voices, we feel like that should be enough. I've created that voice, it should just work every time. But I actually have built into some of my AI systems that it will automatically run the content checker at the end, and then it gives it almost like a 2-step process for each thing that I'm writing. So if you identify the things that you usually would come in and edit as a human, like you said, I end up having to fix it, write down what those things are or have
and
AI
feed it back in.
Pull that out and put that back into it, and then the AI can do both steps right away, and then you can come in as a human with your human heart and give it that last little zhuzh. But there is a lot, like even though the zhuzhing is always a good thing, it is a lot, and it feels like, that seems like common sense, but there's so many layers. So it's so great that we'll have that, you guys will have that workshop that's really going to identify the brand voice, because it is a much bigger piece than we even realize. So it's a great question.
That was a great question.
I love
Thanks,
it. If
Antonella.
I may, one little note on that. If anybody's trying to do that manually, right? I think most people who are kind of just using the base tools and not having an app that runs itself on a, you just send a second prompt of like, are you sure you used my,
that's
thing?
it.
That's it.
Yeah,
But
are you
once you have
sure-
it in a file, you can just be like, are you sure you used it? And it's going to be like, oh, actually, here's 5 points that and then you're like, okay. So sometimes you just got to, trust but verify.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hope that helped, Antonella. You're going to do amazing.
Absolutely. Thank
Remember,
you.
I say this to everybody. Remember, we're just the first generation who didn't have it and now has it, and it's going fast. So it freaks us out a little, but once you see it, it changes everything. Okay, let's go to Michael Korter. I hope I said that right. Let's bring it up for Michael. Or give it up for Michael. Bring up Michael. I just combined both things at once. How you doing, Michael?
Great.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. You having a good day?
Good. Yeah, having a great day. Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you here. Your question, I'm going to read it, says, if I wanted to create an AI virtual assistant or chief of staff to help me with running my schedule and parts of my business, what tools or AI platform would I recommend? Want to go first?
I mean,
That's an easy one.
I'll keep this one short, and I think then it kind of, there's an implied question here of what parts of my life should I even want to, automate. But to keep it simple, I think right now, at this point in time, the summit today, it's just Claude is really the only option, the best option to like build agents, because you have this progression where you can go from the basic Claude to Claude Cowork, if we want to get concrete on the apps. And it's just such a smooth progression, whereas in all the other stuff, you kind of have to like bury what you built your foundations on and then transfer them over as soon as you start getting to level 3, where it's a chief of staff or where it's actually taking action for you. So I would recommend that. But truly, to get started, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you want to go all the way from like beginning to agent, it's just Claude makes it a straight line right now. And I like
And
that.
Michael, that's one of the reasons I answered it earlier. It's the reason we chose, for those, in our last boot camp, we taught everybody to build their clone in ChatGPT, which is fantastic. And what's cool is you can transfer that in a second. We just like the fact, and being partners with this guy who's on the cutting edge every day, he's like, Claude is the one where it's going. This is going to make it easy for people. They'll never have to code, and they can gradually, as we teach them over 6 weeks, start having things done alongside of you and then for you. There's a couple things. I just want to tell you, I had AI, I had Chat being my AI assistant. I went through the last boot camp. Obviously, I get to do this stuff directly with them, right? And then when I switched over to Claude, I just like, it's easier, it's user-friendly, and it answers in a little bit different way.
It's human.
It's human. It's
a
more
bit
human.
It's
Oh,
a bit more human.
that sounds crazy. It's more human. And Dr. Brooks, maybe in between that question, I hear like what you were talking about is, actually, what should I outsource? I love what you said about, the left and right. It really does give you a, like, I ever since the last event, everything I look through left and right brain. I'm like, no, I need more of that done so I can be more of this.
In the future, we always think that the future, especially those of us who are a little bit older, we think that all of the human relationships that we have are going to be substituted for. They're going to be crowded out by technology. But the truth is, 10 years from now, 5 and 10 years from now, we're going to be finding new ways to be adding more of humanity back into the machines. And, all the things that we do. I work with dating app developers, and one of the things that I'm talking to them about a lot, I'm a behavioral scientist. I say, we need more human connections between the machine parts. We need more human friction is how it comes about. And that's kind of what you're talking about. It's like, that's the zhuzh. The zhuzh and everything is basically the human part. And so what'll happen is you're going to get all this left brain, cool, efficient stuff going on, and you gotta punctuate that equilibrium with some right brain zhuzh from time to time. Find ways to actually add in some love, add in some humanity is the way that actually works, and have that be your algorithm.
I love that. I love that. Michael, I hope that helped.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Michael, everybody. Okay, now we have Noah Oswald. Can we bring up Noah? What's up, Noah? How you doing? I love the Bob Marley poster.
Thank you very much.
Love the Bob Marley poster. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. So I'm going to read your question. You said, first of all, you said, thank you very much. God bless you guys. God bless you. Thank you for the kind words. How can we always stay up to date so that we can use the right AI the best way for their unique use case? And what are the ways to get creative and use AI in business so that we can financially grow and help others with that? Great. Cool. I'm gonna break it down. You know, I'm just gonna share personally, and then I'd love for you to share. And then anybody's got something, you could bring it in for Noah. I told Igor this since we've been partners 8, 9 months, 10 months, or I'm heading towards a year, is the more I knew Noah, the more I felt behind for a while. Because the more I knew, the more I was being sent from family, from friends, from Tony Robbins, from all my partners, all these things I should be doing. And the better I got, the more things people sent me. And I literally about 3 months ago personally got overwhelmed, and I asked everybody, stop sending me all these options, because right now, me feeding my Claude clone and my AI agent, the more I feed this one thing, the more it knows me, the more things I have it do on a regular basis. It's learning my gaps and it's filling them. It's learning my areas where I have greater potential and letting me see them. And when something comes out, it knows me so well. And this is talking from a 57-year-old who's not in technology. I'm just a great observer and great at pattern recognition. The smarter it gets about me in this one lane, whenever there is a tool that somebody sends me, I just ask my clone. And it says, you don't really need this, I can do it. Or, actually, that one's pretty good, it's got good reviews, let's transfer this, and these are your first steps. So this one thing, you know, I love when people say in business, most people go a mile wide and an inch deep, and the people that win are an inch wide and a mile deep. And especially being partners with this guy and Tony, we are a mile deep on this one thing, and I don't think anybody can keep up with us. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, it is so easy to be sucked in to the marketing noise around all these AI tools, because the people who are really obsessed with them, like some of us, there is a little bit of a marketing message around the way that people are sharing the updates. A lot of the tools and the things that are happening, the changes, there's always a spin around it designed specifically to suck you in and pull your focus. So I love that, where you're picking one or two tools that you really can count on and go deep into it. And then it is good to stay up to date, which is why it's important to be a part of a community where there's like that filter, so you're not being inundated with the noise. I was actually just talking to Dallas about this as well, that there is this dopamine hit that comes up. I'm sure you can speak to this, right? This dopamine hit that comes up because it feels exciting to dive into the newest thing. And we need to know what the changes are. But if you allow that to distract you and not actually use AI for the reason that we're using it, if you're just changing tools or changing paths every other day, you're not going to really get anything done, and you're not going to be able to monetize and make that impact like you mentioned in your question. So I would get really clear about your goals, pick one path, stick with it, and then only peripherally vary from that path.
You know, it's interesting that I have one of my sons, I talked about him in my presentation, my son Carlos. He when he got out of the Marine Corps, he went into construction management. And one of the reasons he likes construction management, because he's incredibly interested in the tools that people are using. He got interested, it became his hobby, the tools that people are actually using. And the reason he liked being a sniper, among other things, is because he was really interested in the guns, per se. And that gave him a lot of joy, and it gave him a lot of friends, and it gave him people in his real life that he could talk to. And this is the thing with AI as well. Look, it's hammers and screwdrivers. I got it. It's the sniper rifle. I got it. But the whole point is not just what gets done when you use it. It's what happens to you when you are using it, and the friends that you make when you get more interested in it. So make it not just the way to make your business better. Make it a little bit of your hobby and something around which you can
part
actually
of your
make
identity.
In real life friendships, not just online, in real life friendships. Go out to coffee with somebody and say, how are you using AI?
Yeah, and Noah, one more thing, and then I want to get on to our next question. I hope this helped you. One more thing I think is really important. Last year at this event, we had a girl named Sabrina Romanoff. She was awesome. We loved Sabrina. She's awesome. And she said something to me that I want you to hear, because your second part of the question is, how can you use this in business or financially grow? So I'm on a call with her for the first time, interviewing her and asking her. I was so blown away by her. She was one of the 50 interviews we did. I was so blown away. I'm like, we would love for you to speak at our event. Usually I waited, talked to the team. I was so blown away by her. I asked her immediately to speak. And she said, Dean, of course I would. There's something you don't know. She said, you have been writing my marketing for the last 12 months, and my business has exploded, and my offers convert incredible ways because you sell through your heart. I know that you care and you want to serve people. So I built my clone to know everything about you. And when I create something, I say, could you write this in a way that Dean Graziosi would write it heart-centered but gets sales? We have that access at our fingertips like never before in history. So how do you use it in business? You could model what Molly does or Arthur does or what I do in a moment. When do we have, like, that was my core competency, and now Sabrina's using it, which is great, and we all love it. So I hope that helps.
I hope that I do have one point to extend that sniper rifle analogy, because I think all of that is totally true, and yet sometimes a new tool comes out that is a sniper rifle that shoots twice as far.
Right.
And I think what you're also implying is like, I want to know about that rifle, right? Because I'm doing a business, it's having an impact. Like, there's all these outcomes that I care about. If I could get that better rifle, it would accelerate me. And that tells me that you're a particular type of person. You're a type of person who is looking within AI to find opportunities that weren't there before. And there's a subgroup of people doing that. And I think there's a certain emotional price you need to just accept, which it is, because like and I'm the same way, right? I want to stay on top of it. I want to know the latest and greatest, not just because of the function that I fill here, but really because I care about the technicalities. But if you're the same way and you want to generate advantages where you get ahead of the rest of the market, you'll just have to accept the weight of keeping up with a technological revolution that is, blasting at 1,000 miles an hour every day. With that being said, if you follow us, we even have a newsletter, YouTube channel, like we cover these things, but even recently we made a change where we don't feature 15 stories a week anymore. We're like, what's the one thing that actually makes a difference? And oftentimes, and then we want to spend a few minutes on that rather than focusing on everything, because there's so much noise. But if you want to be a few % ahead of everybody else, that's the price you pay. So, there's no really advice there except just like accept it. If you want to be a few % better than everybody else, you're going to have to carry a multiple of the weights that other people carry. And that's very different to most people in this room who are just like, I just want to be on top of all of this and use it. And for all of those people, I would say the best stuff, you might not be on it week 1, but it's going to percolate to the top within a few weeks, and you're going to hear about it. At this point, even my grandma knows that ChatGPT has new models.
So, Noah, I hope that helps. We did all the talking. We didn't have a lot from you, but you had a big question, and we hopefully answered it, and we hope it helped everybody else. Give it up for Noah, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, let's jump to Carl. What's up, Carl? Give it up for Carl, everybody. How you doing, Carl?
I'm doing great.
I love
you
that.
all are doing fantastic.
Oh, good. Yeah, you said, how many of the different platforms are reasonable or necessary to describe to amidst Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc.? And exploring each of them, when I dive deeper into a project on any one of them, I bump up against the need to subscribe. Maybe you guys, if you have any thoughts on that. For me, I know my answer, but I'd love your thoughts, Igor.
Okay, so I would just say 1.
Me too.
One. And if you're in that camp of like, okay, I want to, be a few % ahead, just like I said, like, sure, get all of them and send every prompt to all 3 and make your decision. But honestly, 1, and as every speaker has been telling you throughout the last 2 days, like the first steps are about building context. And it doesn't matter if you're building context in A, B, C, right? It's almost like I want to say, and I would also love to hear what Arthur thinks about this, because it's about depth. And in relationships with humans, at the end of the day, does it matter which one you pick? Yes. But what matters even more is like the depth, how deep do you go with them within that relationship? And sure, a lot of that is going to be limited. But let me tell you, rather than humans, these tools are so similar at this point that just commit to one. If you wanted, I had it in my talk yesterday, if you want a recommendation for just one, I think at this point in time, for me, it would be Claude, because it sounds more human. And the stuff it creates, it just one-shots stuff really well, meaning you send one prompt and actually the result is like better than you would expect. But if you're using chat, most people do that. It's the same. It's the same. Just pick one, get good there, and then start looking around.
Mm-hmm. Good advice.
I hope that helps, Carl.
Yeah, good advice. Very good advice. And by the way,
does.
we all of us in our businesses, we have different reasons to be using different kinds of tools, and these are general AI tools that we have, but they're going to get more and more and more specific. I use 3, and they do different things. I mean, I have a general one. Claude is great, but I have one that's AI Arthur for my community, a community that Dean helped me set up. And we have our own version of me, and I use it because I say, what would I say about something? And it's trained on 1 million of my own words. I also have, there's one called Consensus. That's an AI tool specifically for scientists that goes across millions and millions and millions of scientific articles. And so the truth is that we're going to be able to use all different kinds of tools as we go forward.
I love it.
You know what else is really funny? So recently I was at an event and they stopped the event and they said, you know what? I want to get you, you, and you. And they pulled a few of us up on stage and they said, I want you to battle it out, the difference between Claude Cowork, Claude Code, and Perplexity Computer. Go. And we had this big debate on stage. I was on the Claude Cowork team, and man, I got so competitive trying to prove why Claude Cowork was the best one. I think we won. But I also will tell you that I really could have swapped out my position and fought for any of those other tools because I am the worst to answer this question because I pay for way too many. So I would agree, pick one.
Yeah, I just think it's depth, not width. And for me, I literally use one right now, and I would say this with all seriousness, Carl. I am 3 times as productive than I was 6 months ago. That's a fact. With 99% of my time is on one thing, going deeper. Knows me faster, fixing my weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree with you because it's like streaming services. It's like if we cut our streaming services down and focus, we'll have more money to invest in boot camp.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Well, we can't wait to help the take the journey. You know, I see questions coming in. You know, one thing I want to share. I love this, and I have to say, I'm seeing so many great questions come in. Of course, I want everybody to join the boot camp, but I see questions come in like, can't I just teach myself this? It's all over the internet. Yes, and we can teach ourselves to do a lot of things. The best part is you have a structured program with accountability from 2 guys, Tony and I, that have been teaching people to get results for 77 years. And then you plug this guy in and all these other amazing experts, and the collective wisdom gives us a path to just make sure in 6 weeks you don't have any of these questions anymore. So many of you have incredible questions that are all answered over those 6 weeks. So I hope I did a good job today to let you see this is the path. But Carl, I appreciate you. Hope that helped. Love that background.
Good. Thanks.
All right, let's bring up Angie Ryan. We got Angie Ryan. What's up, Angie? Oh, I've seen Angie today. You've been playing full out. Love having you here, Angie. How you doing today?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Well, good to have you.
This is so exciting.
Well, good. Well, good. Well, listen, I'm sure there's waves for everyone where you're like, oh, this is too simple. Oh, this is overwhelming. Oh, why do they have Dr. Arthur Brooks here? Oh, I see why he's here. I hope everybody's had all those like moments, right? And again, tomorrow, whatever it takes, you got to be here. It's a Saturday. You got to be here tomorrow. It brings it all together. It's going to be the best day 3 ever. But Angie, you said, I digress. How do you get buy-in from people that are skeptical or fearful of AI? How do you handle objections? You know, before we go any further, isn't that what happens with everything in life? You meet a new partner and somebody else doesn't like him. You use the internet before someone else.
Yeah. And
like, isn't this the human condition?
For sure. I mean, we don't like new things. We're evolved to not like new stuff. Like, the trend is your friend. Stick with what you're doing, right? And that's one of the reasons as people get older. I mean, I was trying all kinds of new stuff when I was in my 20s because nothing was established. I was a kid. Sorry, I know you're not a kid, but you know, you get my point. I mean, it's and now I'm 61 years old and I'm kind of set in my ways. But here's the thing. I remember when I was 30 years old and I was telling my dad, who at the time was in his late 50s, I said, Dad, you got to try Indian food. And he said, I don't know. That sounds like it might be kind of scary. It sounds kind of hot and spicy. I said, you got to try Indian food. And I could have just argued with him about trying to find. So you know what I did? I went out and I got some Indian food that I thought he would really like, and I brought it home and I gave it to him. And he took a bite. He said, this is delicious. Where's this been my whole life? But this is the point. If you're really into this stuff, you're really into this new technology, and you've got somebody around you who isn't like your boss or your partner or your parents or whatever it happens to be, do something for them that uniquely uses this technology. Give them the bite of the Indian food that they'll actually like. And, you know, once they see that this is what it can actually do, as opposed to having it being a theoretical big change, then it's really very different.
Yeah, and something I want to share, Angie, and I share this a lot. You know, we're in this weird place. And raise your hand in a minute or put yes in the chat. We can see YouTube chat and Zoom chat. we're in this place. You and I talked about it quick on the phone. That one side of our brain is AI is going to take over the world, get the codes for nuclear weapons and create Armageddon, right? That's the extreme to one, right? And then the other side is it's going to cure cancer, help diseases, help get the mundane and boring work off of our plates so we can become more human, more spiritual, more time in nature, more time loving people. There's two routes it could go. And I think we're at this phase where our brain kind of goes back and forth. Put yes, Skynet, Kevin. That's awesome, right? Put yes in the chat if sometimes you're in both directions, right? And that's just a short little window we're in because it didn't happen and now it does. Again, it happens always. And I have both people in my camp. Here's what, the answer is probably somewhere down the middle, hopefully to the left, right? But here's what I know. What we focus on, this is Tony Robbins 101. What we focus on is what we get. And if I focus that AI could end the world, not hurt people, if I focus, what are the things? Is it going to steal my data, even though your data is out everywhere in the world? If you focus on all those things, there's no way you can effectively learn it to be more human. So I'd rather focus on, it's going to cure diseases. It's going to allow me to keep going faster. I can write 2 books this year, not 1. I could do amazing things with the people I love. I can help my children go faster. I'm going to focus on that because that's part of the why, the drive that pushes me forward. And then you be able to give other people that relief. The last thing I'll say, and this is really important. I've shared this before if anybody heard it, but I watched Wayne Dyer. If you don't know who Wayne Dyer is, he's like the spiritual Tony Robbins, and he was around forever. I watched Wayne Dyer on stage once, and he said he got diagnosed with leukemia. And he said immediately, he was like, oh, I probably drank too much when I was younger. I abused my body. I stressed too much. He had all these worries, and he was distraught. How could you not be? You get a diagnosis like that. And then one day he looked in the mirror, and he goes, damn it, I'm Wayne Dyer. He said, I'm going to be the crazy guy who beats leukemia's ass. Excuse me. That's exactly what he said. He goes, I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to show the world what's possible. He said, in that moment, he got happy because he just shifted his belief on it. Now, he passed away a few years later, a year later, of a heart attack, not the leukemia. But he said, when he was sharing this, it was probably 6 months later. He goes, I've been happier for 6 months because I wake up with this same situation. The leukemia was still there, but he focused on, I'm going to be the guy that beats it. It's going to make me a better person and all these pieces. And I think that might be extreme. But for me, I focus on how AI can get all of us to be home for dinner, to unlock the creativity, to be a better version of ourselves, to be the great equalizer where you had an idea for a business and you thought you had to hire people and raise money. Now you can use AI to do it. If I think through that lens, then I get hungry to want to do it, and then it's infectious to the people around me. The people that say, I'm not sure this is real, they spend 10 minutes with me, they're like, hey, can I come to your boot camp? This sounds great. So I hope that helps. I hope that helped for everybody out there. Give it up for Angie, everybody. Look at all these amazing questions. All right, let's do one more. I know we went over on time. You guys okay? I hope this is serving you all. If time allows, we'll do one. Yvette, given the rapid pace of AI advancement, where should I focus my energy over the next 6 to 12 months to create the most durable advantage for myself and my business? Man, this is just going to sound like a tee up and a setup. Is join the bootcamp.com. Like, not just, how you doing? But that it's so true because I share this a lot. And then I'd love for you to share, Igor. Most education starts out on like the 5th step, straight to the education, which usually causes overwhelm. And then you're like, which way to go and how many tools? Man, with us doing this for so many years, we know the path, finding the purpose, overcoming the fear, embracing change, right? All that's woven in. You don't go through all that training first, but it's woven in. And then this guy is so good at taking all the complexity and creating one path. So I love that your question is here, but I think we answered it in multiple ways. I don't want to sound repetitive and just say, join us. But the fact of the matter is, it is one path. In our opinion, deep on Claude, because Claude is growing. Did you see Google today just put, I don't know how much crazy amount of money in.
It was like 40, no, 4, yeah. It's
some crazy number. Billions of dollars invested because they believe Claude is the one that we can be involved in. And for a minimal fractional price, less than $1 a day, pennies a day, you have this thing that's just going to keep getting smarter. And as we teach you, you have the opportunity to grow it in that one spot. So to me, with all that we've recognized through the patterns, that is the ultimate unfair advantage. And then as you grow, you might add another tool here someday and another tool here, but that same context will go along there. Any last words? I know it's kind of what we've been sharing.
Yeah, like honestly, we're racing towards this idea of AGI. These companies are building it out, but the unique thing versus many other technological revolutions is this is happening out in the open. The tools are available, like what the heck, like $20 subscription, really, for access to hundreds of billions of infrastructure. It's unbelievable. And if you do it right, you get to, that's what you're asking, is like, how do I ride this wake that this giant tanker that's going through the ocean on the path to AGI, how do I ride the wake behind that? And the answer is yes, it's a skill. You need to build it over time. Every single talk here touches on how to build towards that skill, how to get closer, how to express your context, how to use the tools. It's always a combination of that. And yes, 100%, you can go on that journey and you can rewatch everything and find tidbits and do Google searches, watch YouTube videos and consume all of that. But what we do is like we just compress it. We built one path. My heart is so in this because I've seen in the first bootcamp the people who go from like, oh my God, I started watching on a phone and how do I even, Igor tells me to right click, how do I do that? Versus people who already had like agents set up like half a year ago that barely worked, but they were trying stuff. All of those people, they like reset, we leveled the playing field and we're like, hey, let me take you by the hand and actually take you on a walk here over a few weeks. And we go step by step by step. And we do something that you could do alone, but it would be like this, and it would take a whole amount of time. And we're like, no, blinders, let's go. First step, second step, first step, and then you build towards that. So if you want to go on that journey by yourself, you absolutely can. But if you want to go with us, we're here. And over the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to keep evolving, but the basics stay the same. And I hope we really made this point. It's context, and that's what gets you off the ground. And then you engage the tools. But just work on your context. Now, if you want structure, we're here.
And I also love what you said because you are strengthening the muscles as these tools change. When you get the foundations that you're talking about, that helps you to be able to be prepared as the changes happen. Because sometimes it feels like, why should I learn this now if it maybe changes in 6 months?
Yeah, the foundation never changes.
And you guys have built such an amazing foundation. So it's awesome.
All right. Everybody, give it up for our panel. I got just 5 minutes to wrap this up. Thank you, Igor. Don't leave. Thank you. Yvette, thank you. All right. Hey, everybody. Well, was that a great day? Thank you for staying long. For those of you that are on right now, thank you for staying. Raise your hand or say yes if those answers helped. We do the best we can. We had so many come in. I see all the amazing questions. Listen, I just hope you see what's possible. It's time to stop dabbling. It's time to go all in. Everyone and every business needs this foundation, whether in your business or the one you want to start, or just even as Lior was sharing, in your personal life and running your home. And I said this earlier, but we've been doing this for 77 years between Tony and I. And you plug in Igor and all these other experts, and we just have a path, as Igor said, to get rid of all the noise and show you how to get there. Listen, we put on these free programs to put 648,000 people in. It's amazing, and we want you to leave on fire whether you enroll with us or not. But we also know those that do have the opportunity to really get that jump start. We have all these experts to have one collective path to have you build your clone, to get it working with you and for you, to get those 15 hours back and see how it can change your life in such a cool way. So tonight, you have a choice. You get to go to bed with the same questions and the same challenges, or you can go to bed feeling incredible because you said yes, that we're going to go on this path together. Either way, you got to be here tomorrow because it's going to be off the charts. Listen, and for so many of the questions, I hope this answers some of it. Your clone starts working for you in the first session. And over the next 6 weeks, it gets smarter, faster, sharper, and then we evolve it to working for you. You can't skip the process. If you're already building clones and you got agents and all that stuff, that's probably not for you. But if you're not at a level 3+, this is the journey. And this is the opportunity to get that time back to use it for whatever it is you want to do. This is an event-only bonus, event-only offer with all the bonuses. We only do this once a year where we open this cohort, and we do start on Friday. which is May 1st, just a couple of days. You go to jointhebootcamp.com to get enrolled. We are at 1,700,000 hours saved. Can we please give a big hand on that? Oh my gosh. So good. So good. So listen, we love having you here. Whatever you decide, because this is your time. And I promise you, if you say yes, your future self is going to thank you in a big way. Now, let me tell you about tomorrow. This is really important. 2 more minutes. I got 2 more minutes. I'm going to be done. Because day 3 is where it all comes together. We have Rachel Woods. Oh, my God, she is so good. If you thought, I don't know if you were here last year, but she teaches you how to create playbooks, meaning really just things you do in your personal life, your business life, or the one you want to start, and then how to implement AI to go faster. Think of it like human part, AI. Human part, AI. Oh my God. She went through a presentation with me today. It is going to blow your mind. She's going to show you how to create AI-powered systems like nobody else can. Igor's back. Ooh, he's got a presentation for you tomorrow. We got some stuff from Mark Benioff, the founder of Salesforce, Ray Kurzweil, the father of technology. Tony interviewed both of them. We're taking some clips out of that interview. They're going to blow your mind. And then we have Mr. Tony Robbins back. We'll close this summit. He's going to be in our East Coast studio, but he called me up. He watched all day yesterday. He is so fired up watching today, and he's going to share the power of decisions. To me, it's my favorite training Tony Robbins does. I'm so excited you guys are here. We have 1.7 million hours saved. We got a goal of 4 million. We hope you say yes to you. We hope you go to bed knowing that you're a part of something that's going to clear the clutter and get you the results that you crave. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for being with us today. I know we went a little long. You filled our hearts. Your posts, your comments just allow us to be integrated. So get a good night's sleep tonight. I hope you're in. If you're in, I'm in the chat. Either way, be here 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow sharp. You're not going to want to miss a minute. Love you. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow.